we're going to be doing an off-air, non-recorded broadcast room. I'm getting that set up now. The people that are on my regular list will, of course, be invited, but I need to get a couple other things set up first. So please bear with me. And let me see if I can pull my head out of my butt for a minute here. Oh, let's see now. Okay, and I need to wait a couple of seconds for the actual stream portion to start here. Hopefully I set the name right and all that fun stuff. Let's get to the event and see if we can get our little chat session in. And I'm going to have to make sure that I do the share properly here. Okay. And let's see now. Screen cap. And in a moment I'm going to switch this over to a different audio stream, so it's not going to be an issue, but I will need the chat box. We don't have anyone in queue right now anyway, but I figured if I was going to just be uploading this damn thing anyway, I might as well allow people to actually comment on it while it's playing, or something along these lines, because, you know, I like the interaction. And there we go. And do our little Google Plus share here. Okay. There we go. There we go, just getting started. Air Hangout. While it plays. Here. And let's get a link in there. Where's the Hangout link? Here we go. Putting out for whoever. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be an off-air hangout anyway that it's going to be broadcast from. So that shouldn't be too much of an issue. And of course, the little Google Plus share link just randomly vanished. Get back here. Okay. This will take a couple more moments. Off-air viewing room will be there. And there we go. Broadcast starting momentarily. There we go. And post the shit. There we go. Now just a little bit of background information here. Now, yesterday I went in and I ended up dealing with Beasley for a few minutes. And actually I'm going to have to open that a new window, aren't I? Let me get that dealt with. I'm sorry about this. If it's not one thing, it's another. There we go. Okay, jump my butt on in there. Because I need to have all of my windows in the proper order here. There we go. Okay, and oh crap, there we go. There's Vincent. Let me turn this volume down so it doesn't interfere so much. I'm going to have to be muting the mic in a moment because I'm not airing what's in the actual Hangout. That's just going to be for us to sit there and BS while it's actually playing. I'm going to be setting this to a slightly different audio stream. And, well, hang on, guys.
Usual.
Yeah. Right, okay, I have to mute the Hangout apparently because that's a little bit louder than I want. So, in any case, let me see if I can get the actual presentation here started now that I have a couple people at least chilling out here in the Hangout. And let's hit play. I assumed between watching the outside and coming back in here, you didn't actually read the remainder of what had been put in there.
Okay, just 1 second, guys, because Shadow's been trying to get a hold of it.
No, I asked first.
Oh, alright, way you go.
Can you give me that sick beat one more time? The
What?
Can you give me that real quick one more time?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I don't like doing that.
Come on, you did. You did.
Well, I just read it. I don't see. Yeah, that's your opinion. It can mean multiple things, but in Satanism, it means no God.
Actually, that particular the peace symbol was initially designed in 1958 by the British nuclear disarmament movement by Gerald Holtham. Now,
but in Satanism, it means no God.
Well, if you're to say that Satanism adopted it after the fact, that's a different matter.
It could be.
Yeah.
Because this precedes Levian Satanism.
Yeah, well, I don't think it matters too much. I mean, I'm happy for Rose to hold her view on this, and I'm happy with my position. So.
And frankly, I've never met a Satanist that actually uses the peace symbol.
No, they
I
don't.
have.
They don't. It means no God. All they do is break a cross, and it forms into a peace sign. And so then they put that out there for the masses to buy and think it means peace, but really means no God. I'm not
And
saying they wear a peace sign, but that's what
the
they do in their first
sign,
ritual.
as it's actually been sold and marketed and what have you, is based upon semaphore, the letters N and D.
Yeah.
Shut up. Not yet. Let's do stuff.
That's what you want to think.
Yeah, here's a comment I'd like to make on this topic, and where it's sort of
It's
heading.
history. That's
I
what's
mean,
confusing.
no. If it's history, no. If it's history, then I can look into that and I can tell you. I'll look into it. But and then maybe yeah, I will. And then maybe Satanism did adapt it from that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with you saying that. But to say the mass media means it this way, not this way, that's neither here nor there. We don't know that. It can mean what you mean. It can mean what I mean. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
when somebody's
I
making
wanna
the
make.
peace sign, like with the image that's being used by Rob, it's always referred to as a peace sign.
Yeah.
Brain.
Hang on.
if you say so.
I
You
got
want to
a
think
far,
that's fine.
far more important thing I want to say, right? Now, I'm enlightened, whether you believe it or not. Doesn't
I'm
give.
lightly enlightened. I've
Yeah,
been dropping weight.
he actually is. Lukey is, and also is Rose. And I hold that to be a fact. Now, that's the highest outcome for an individual spiritually.
So the best of the best, the cream of the crop. We always rise to the top.
Well, you know, we're just the ones that have cleared away the cobwebs, and we see things.
You're saying we are the blessed.
Yeah. So, from my
Fuck
point
all
of
the
view,
rest.
I don't
Well,
worry.
you can't think like that, Rob. Not Rob. Luke, you can't think like that. That's
I know. I said I was joking at the end. You know what? I'm drunk. I gotta stay reserved. I'm sorry.
Now, hang on, you two, sort this out. Come on. We need. This is the best love story in town, so we can't have it, you know, in trouble.
moving on. Moving on. So go ahead.
Why, Rose?
What the fuck?
Are you blushing, Rose? Anyway, so I just want
No,
to.
I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was only joking. Only messing. So. Oh, jeez.
Ross, stop, man.
But anyway, I just wanted to say that it's important to me. What's important to me in my relationship with Rose and with Lukey is respecting what, you know, this special state they're in. So the other shit, right, the non-important stuff, I just sort of dismiss. I don't count as important. That's all. I just want to say that.
Yeah, Rob, you jerk.
Hey, Rose, do you love him?
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to remember to like, share, subscribe, comment below. By the way, a comment coming October 31st on Halloween. Find out in the matter of
Luke,
a week. Holy shit.
there's a big show. It's a big show in the Hangouts. Brother John and the Bad Dudes are
Yeah, fuck the Hangouts. The Hangouts are the most boring people in the world. That's what they hang out.
I'm thinking we should do something in competition. Anyway, sorry. Where are we at?
We were talking about basically the bottom line is the fact of the matter is 100%. I want to tell every one of these people, look, if I offend you guys, I see your comments. I see you over there typing away like a motherfucker. Look, I'm just gonna say it like this. Look, if I offended you, or if I've upset you, if I made you mad in any way, shape, or form, I just want to say, good. I still don't give a fuck. Hashtag Eminem.
Okay, let's go back to our new on board person, Shadow.
I wasn't planning on staying, but I suppose I could for a few.
Oh, it's up to you, mate. We don't. The thing about enlightened folks, we don't hold people up, and if we ourselves want to go, we just back off, sort of thing, you know. Don't we? Whoops. Try and stay, Luke, if you can.
I'm here.
Yeah, all right, okay, okay. And we don't, we do not tell
I'll
other
be
people
up.
what to
I'll
do.
be up later than
Luke,
everyone
shut
here
up.
tonight, probably. How about that? And I'm drunk, really drunk.
Luke, why do you drink?
Because that's weird that you bring that up. Because hey, that's all another story for a whole another day, and we'll talk about that when we're not. What?
Yeah.
What's wrong with your life that pushes you to want to drink so often?
You're like a cop. You just gotta keep doing it. I'm like, yo,
No,
I
it's
have
just
the
a
right to
matter.
remain silent, and you're like, no, let me keep questioning you. I
You're,
say, look,
you're deflecting. I'm just curious.
not
Does the question
deflecting,
bother
I'm
you?
reflecting. Look, you want
Hey,
to know the honest truth? I'll tell you the honest truth right here. We're what? Live right now. Why does Luke Dog drink like he does?
Luke, can I have a go at trying to answer that?
No, I was gonna answer. Why would you
Oh,
guess
all right.
it when I'm about to tell you?
Well, I don't know. I just want to
That
see
makes
how.
no sense. That seems like because you're gonna be wrong.
Well, I might be, but I might be right too.
Nope, you're wrong.
No,
Because I'm
no.
going to tell you the right answer right now.
Well, are you going to mention the fact that we're the isolated bunch?
Don't get no hits!
We're the bullies victims?
Okay, I see where you were going with it because
Yeah, I
we
know you do.
motherfuckers that always get fucking pushed to the edge by fucking people. We're not. You know what we are? We're the edge itself that you guys are coming to. See what I'm saying?
Mm.
Edge. You want to know the answer to that question, Gohan from Dragon Ball Z? Yeah, I know where you're from. Gohan, Goku.
What did you
Which one
say?
are you again? Gohan? Goku was better.
What? What do you want, man?
Goku whooped Gohan's ass every fucking time, unless Gohan was
I have no idea what you just
got
said.
mixed up.
So you drink because Goku kicked Gohan's ass? What?
Well, I was a big Goku fan.
No, I know what he's doing there.
No, that's not it. I just got sidetracked by realizing your name. No, let me answer the question. You're the one who distracted me.
Come on, hang on. 1 second.
Told you,
No,
man.
us guys mess with you fucking guys when you get judgmental. So that's all he's doing.
No, I don't have a problem with it. It's not us guys.
Well, it is.
You sound a lot like
No,
Sadie.
hang on. In
Has
all
anyone ever
fairness,
told you that, Goku?
in all fairness, you had a number of individuals in the room, some of which
Well, I've had a number of years in the room.
Hang on, Luke, hang on. But,
some of them regularly hang around with them, some of them don't.
So I put a link on the side chat with what he was talking about, the NMD original origin of the peace sign, and then I put my link of also that it means this as well as the Satanists when they break the cross.
I'm
So
sorry,
there's two links.
that's a Wicca link. Do you have any that aren't
Well,
Wicca
yeah.
links?
Well, no. I'm just doing this right now. I'm gonna do other.
Yeah,
I'm not
because
gonna do
Wicca
research right now. I do.
isn't.
no,
Wicca's
I know
actually
that.
Wicca's a totally different religion.
Point of
Well,
order.
when I do it for hours, so I don't have time to do that right now at this moment.
Oh,
but I'm
that's
just
fine.
putting at the.
I'm just pointing out that Wicca actually goes back to ancient Celtic roots. It's closer to the old Druidic faith.
Oh, that's just
Yeah,
rude.
Well, I know about the Druid. Yeah.
Point of order. This is a baseball comment, right?
It's just a point. It's just a point of reference, is all I'm saying. Okay.
No, what the point I want to make though, what Shadow did is something that I can't. Wikipedia links are fine as a resource. They're about 97% equivalent to British Britannica. And the other thing is, if you've got a problem with a Wikipedia source, pick.
I do.
Who does?
I do. Wikipedia said Chris Benoit's family was murdered an hour before it happened.
It's a good, efficient tool for getting at information. So
It is sufficient, you man.
don't criticize it without cause.
Hey, I'll
There are-
criticize it.
Well, there are actually lots of problems with Wikipedia. It's better to use it for the secondary search results that they have down at the bottom with the varied links to different sites for further research.
No.
I'd rather look up.
It's non-disputable. Then at least do that. But if you fucking knock it just as a complete swipe, that's
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's good at least for further research. There are certainly errors in many of their articles, but I don't think that necessarily is a major strike against the site in general.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, if we were in a really serious argument,
I wouldn't use Wikipedia, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a good, quick resource. Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, if you're going to criticize the article and the point, because that way you get into the specifics, and then in the context of this discussion, we actually spend our time and potentially learn something. Whereas if you just throw it out the door, I think, you know, just doesn't do the fabric of debate any justice. So that's how.
Well, I like to look at all points of view. So I'm not gonna, you know, dismiss anything that anybody says. I have to look into it.
So do you guys now want to have a discussion on this topic, and based on evidence that Rose has brought to the table?
No, that's not evidence. I just put it there for people that want to know what NND, what he's talking about, and who might want to know what I'm talking. That's it. That's not evidence.
It's just reference points.
And we're both and I'm guessing at this point that we're both right. I don't think there's any right or wrong here. I think he's right and I'm right. I don't.
Rose, in my world, there's only ever one truth.
No. There can be something can originate from somewhere. And it could be like, okay, the Nazi symbol was from a Buddhist. It was the symbol of peace and you know. All right, so and then they took it and reversed it and make it into something negative. So what he's saying can be true, and I actually agree with him at this point.
Okay.
That they took the symbol that means something positive and something good or whatever, and then they use it reversal. The Satanists and Luciferians like to do that reversal mirroring. So there can be both rights in that case.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. However, there are two uses or two expressions of the symbol, but each expression has a singular. Welcome back, Five Bonus. Has a singular history.
Well, a singular history, yes, but in different time frames, different things can have different meanings.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, granted.
So it's a matter of when you're talking about.
Right.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, but at a given moment in time, a point in time, let's call it the now, there's only one reality at that point in time.
No, there could still be both because, like I said, the Nazi symbol, they reversed it. Just like the cross, they turned it upside down. Does it say that it only can mean one way? Well, to them, they believe it this way. That doesn't make it wrong if that's what they believe, whether you believe it or not.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, Rose, but it's still true.
Yeah.
You've got, so for each...
Fuck the dislikes.
Hey, what?
So fuck the dislikes.
I have to listen to those because he's so brilliant.
No, I said fuck the dislikes. I was talking this a whole different spectrum. I just wanted to do
I think Luke wants to
a left out.
Alright, what do we want to talk about next? Who's, now we've got a guy over here, Kevin, and he just won't talk. Kevin, use the side chat whenever you want to butt in or you've got a point. Go on.
Kevin, he can talk. He was talking earlier and you cut him off.
And incidentally, Diplomatos is actually correct. It was initially in Hinduism. Technically, it was, I believe it was first indicated.
Well, you know what I meant. Well, my point. Okay, but my point is, it meant something positive. They reversed it into something negative. That's.
The same symbol also arose in Native American culture independently and also had a similar positive meaning.
Right. Yeah. See, they like to do that. They like to do that. I wasn't planning on talking about this, so of course, if I was, I'd be more prepared. But you know, I just came in and Rob had the symbol.
I'm giving a supporting argument, so you're fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Rose is always fine, in my book. So
better only mean one thing.
Oh my God.
Oh, hang on. I was just thinking, where's Sandra, my wife? No, I think we're good, aren't we, Rose? We're not going to have an affair or anything.
Huh?
Huh?
Why did I walked into the Twilight Zone? What the fuck? I'm gonna go back to researching in a minute and get the hell out of here. Oh, shit.
Well, you know, this is the anything goes.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can be a co-host too. If you
yes, these cocksucking motherfucking trolls want to keep doing this fucking type thing so hard. I keep doing this. I keep pushing it.
Everyone has their place. Everyone has their place.
Even the trolls. Well, you guys keep calling trolls. I call them idiots. Quit calling them trolls. They're idiots.
I actually know people that weren't trolls that were really into what they were doing in a positive way, and because of the way the shit happened, that they started trolling because they figured it wasn't making a difference the other way, and by trolling it did make a difference, a better difference for them. And they're not bad people, and I actually know a few people like that. Not these group in your room, Rob, personally, but people I've known since December, and they are now trolls, but they're still good friends of mine, and I know they're not really bad people. So you can't let all trolls aren't just egomaniacs and narcissistics, because like I said, I have a few really good friends. So.
Yeah, well said. And that's the reality we all need to keep in mind with these trolls is actually at the end of the day, there's still people, right? They're still going to just got caught up in wrong behavior. That's all.
How loud? I can't hear. I'm sorry, it's not like a helicopter. Go ahead.
That's Luke, I think. Lukey, is
Oh.
that you?
Yeah, Rob, you were sounding strangely like his hair dryer for a while there.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit gay, a bloke having a hairdryer? I'm just teasing. But my teasing is good teasing, you know, I don't bloody do bad stuff. Anyway.
So Shadow, what do you, I've never heard of you before, so like what do you do on here, Google Plus or YouTube? Or, like, do you have a channel? Like, what do you do?
Actually, I have several different channels. I do one show which is called Insomnia Shuffle, which is just a bunch of people chilling around and BSing late at night.
Can't hear.
I know you can't.
Something shuffle.
Well, anyways,
Insomniac Shuffle, you said, right?
Yep. Where people
go
talk
ahead.
about whatever, and most of the loaded topics are off the table, and it's just a place for people to sit back and relax.
Nice. You have a radio voice.
But the main topics I've been doing lately is going after New Age woo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The New Age shit, yeah.
What is New Age shit?
New Age shit. Oh, well, he should tell you. Go ahead, Shadow. He's the one that's going after them.
The New Age shit covers a lot of ground, from the law of attraction to concepts such as astral projection and various practices along those lines.
Meditation.
Well, meditation in and of itself isn't certainly a bad thing, nor is it...
The way they teach it, though.
Well, hang on then. It's really a matter of the methodology, because with meditation there can actually be benefit from it, whether it be from Buddhism or what have you. The problem is the New Age movement's taken it and turned it into this yoga thing, which, you know, in the Hindu culture they have a word for yoga. They call it exercise.
Well, no, yoga is also religion.
No, yoga itself is not actually a religion.
Well, here, I'll show you. Go ahead, keep talking.
Well, the thing is, there is a group called 3HO, which was started up in Canada and spread predominantly during the 60s through the U.S. Now, it took varied elements of Hinduism and wrapped them in with exercise routines, and that's where most of the yoga came from. But yoga in and of itself is not actually a religion, it's just exercise.
Wow, DDP yoga.
However, they do try to trace some of the roots back to varied aspects of Hinduism.
Yeah, Hinduism, right. And it says they think of it as their religion.
But what they took from Hinduism isn't really from Hinduism to begin with. It's actually a corruption of that, which actually dates back to the 1920s, I believe it was, and Madame Blavatsky.
Oh, her. Wow, yeah.
Ultimately, it all goes back to her in terms of what happened was she went over to India, learned a little bit about Hinduism, brought it over to the States, screwed it up, brought it back to India, and started teaching them
Right.
to get their teachings totally jacked.
Yeah. She
So
was
it's not
evil,
even really
but-
Hinduism anymore. It's just this corrupt crap from this Blavatsky.
Do you see how they twist stuff up like that, though? Yeah.
She was a spiritist. She was a real flake and a con artist.
She was evil. She was doing the Aleister Crowley stuff before even him.
Well, saying it's all Aleister Crowley stuff's a little bit of a mischaracterization. It was seances and this kind of stuff. It was, yeah, but Crowley didn't really get into that so much, as far as I understand. But Crowley was a whole different bag of cats.
Fiction,
Yeah.
shut up, bitch.
What did he say? What did he say, Luke?
No, he thinks I shouldn't answer questions, is what he said.
No, I appreciate that you are, Shadow. Thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate what you're doing. Now, meditation.
You obviously know your shit, so I respect that.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, it's good to be able to have communications because we can actually engage and learn stuff. But meditation specifically is just the event of shutting the mind down. So in other words, just stopping.
Actually, it's really not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
How is meditation shutting the mind down?
Oh, well, that's probably a better
Slowing the mind down.
No.
Cutting out the stuff that's going around you.
No.
Quieting the mind.
No.
No.
What it is not thinking. That's all.
That's quieting the mind.
Yeah, that's quieting the mind. It's making,
But
it's clearing out the...
It's
Quieting
quieting the voices, your inner talk. You quiet that.
yes, but you,
Yes.
it's like an on-off switch though. You just don't do it for a period of time.
Well, it's actually...
It takes a lot longer than that. No, it's a process. The more you think about...
Hang on, I'll meditate now.
The more you think about not thinking, the more you think.
No, well, I understand that challenging aspect, but the true meditation is just stopping the thinking. That's all it is.
Not in accordance to any practice that uses meditation, no.
Ah, well, they're wrong.
Okay, so then what?
What?
No. Here's kind of the issue here is you have this long enduring tradition that's been around for thousands of years, and that tradition doesn't explain itself properly, you're saying?
I guess so. Because that's what meditation is, just stopping thinking. That's all it is.
It's slowing the mind. It's finding peace within oneself. It's all these different things.
Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying now. You're talking about the process towards enlightenment there. But
Yeah, it's actually meditation was considered to be a key integral part of the process to try to gain enlightenment for thousands of years.
yeah, but it's best to keep them separate. Don't muddy the waters. So,
But what do you mean
when
don't
you
muddy the
get to-
waters? I'm getting confused.
Actually, hang on. We've got enlightened people in the house.
Well, from what I know, Rob, I get an echo, so it's hard for me to talk sometimes. If you don't mind, thank you. I don't like hearing myself talking again. All right. That the New Age thing, what they're doing with the meditation is more of opening yourself up, and instead of becoming enlightened, you can be attacked. You can get the reverse if you don't do it properly. If you don't protect yourself before doing it. There's a very fine line where you think you're getting enlightenment, but if it's not done properly, you're actually getting attachments. So that's the New Age movement. Is they're teaching you the way where you can get more of attachments than enlightenment. So through the way that he's talking about from tradition from the very beginning, that is through enlightenment. But through the New Age now, for the last few years, it's different.
It's a path by which to seek enlightenment, and one of the notions is that we're all sitting there thinking about this, that, and the other thing, and worrying about all these things. And you need to quiet the mind to try and find that inner peace before you can.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. But then, but the New Age movement is not a good thing.
Well, that I'll agree with. Some of your descriptives of it I question a little bit because I need to know what you mean by some of the terms you use. But in general, no, I'd certainly say it isn't. Especially when they start claiming that they're channeling aliens and all this other
That's what I'm
foolishness.
saying. That's what thank you. That's what I meant by attachments. Is the aliens are more like it could be demons if you believe in that spiritual sense, but or whatever you think it's aliens, whatever. But that's what I mean. Where it can.
Well,
That's what
they
they're
claim it's aliens. I certainly don't. They're really just
right.
tulpas. And tulpas are
Um,
actually a notion that also goes back to the early seekers of enlightenment, that they basically built in their minds these constructs which they
mhm,
told them that these were gods, and if the student didn't figure out that they weren't real, that the things that they were channeling or seeing via astral projection weren't actually
mhm,
real, the student was regarded as being a failure. They're
mhm.
expected to figure
Yes.
that out on their own.
Right. Right. But yeah, you're correct on that. But what I'm talking about is the attach. Thank you. What I'm talking about is the attachments, though, is when you open yourself up and you're not protecting yourself and you're not doing it through enlightenment. You think you are, but really you're opening yourself for demon attack or for lies for somebody like the channeling. That shit's that when they're telling you, "Oh, I'm from the astral belt of Uranus." Come
That
on.
that,
I
that
mean,
would be that would be a tulpa. That's just a psychological construct in their own mind.
yeah,
It's
it's
not an actual
yeah,
thing.
it's bullshit, right? And so obviously you're not doing the enlightenment the proper way if you're getting that from your responsive meditation. So
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
yeah. Well said, Rose. And
I hope
quite honestly,
so. It's quite complicated,
well,
but
no, it's actually
simply
not,
and
Rose.
fast. Yeah.
Rose. It's not.
Mhm.
It's actually very, very simple, but it's made complex for a number of reasons. So the
Mhm.
complexity is an add-on. Now,
Mhm.
so
Fair enough.
may I give my 2 bobs worth on meditation and enlightenment?
Please do. It's your room.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I want you to know I'm not disrespecting your position because I think your
No, no,
position
you
is
can't.
absolutely okay. Good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I can't. I know I can't break enlightenment. It's just impossible, right? Because you hold the truth in mind, and there's no cognitive distance, and that's just the way it is. That's
Right.
why
That's
we
fine.
can put up with a lot of shit from people. But people with ego minds, they're a whole new ball game. And there's only the 2 conditions: ego mind or enlightenment. That's it. So here's my explanation. Firstly, meditation is exactly what I said. It's the point where the mind's not thinking. Then you were talking about extending the concept of meditation to include the enlightenment journey. I think that they're better kept separate. Now, the enlightenment journey is specifically this, and it's not complex at all. What happens in life, we get these faulty notions in mind about reality, right? You hear the saying, the truth will set you free. Well, that's absolute truth. So we get these faulty ideas about reality in mind, and they're created by 2 things: the external context that's occurring at the time that the data is coming into the system, and the other aspect is this internal survival instinct that for the self. And this is the thing that watches the data as it's coming in, its context, and then it creates false representation of that data. And that's the memory held in mind, and all these faulty, these ideas held in memory driven by this selfish instinct. What they do, they become a collection over time, and that is what I call the ego, and it is exactly what the ego is. So to achieve enlightenment, you've got to actually look at all of this faulty information you carry, bring the truth to bear, and that can be really uncomfortable. That's why Jesus said there's a disturbing phase. And when you reconcile that so that you hold no false ideas in memory, and this is why we must always tell the truth, right? Because telling lies creates these false ideas in memory that have to be reconciled. So once you reconcile all of the errors, then you're enlightened. That's how I understand it to work, and I think it's pretty precise. Okay.
You don't want me to answer to that one.
What's that?
You don't want me to answer to that one, so I'll just be quiet for a moment.
Why not? Nobody's right or
Go
wrong.
for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Here's the thing, though. Well, you say that there's nobody right or wrong here. There is an individual in the room that seems to think that that is the case, that there is a simple right and wrong.
Correct. That's me.
He's sticking up his hand. That's me. Well, I don't take that stance. I think that it's okay to be corrected. I think it's okay to look at it from different points of view. And I don't always agree that I'm right. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. And it's good to hear someone else's, perspective.
Well, the thing is, classically speaking, what we refer to as the ego is actually used in a different way throughout, well, pretty much all of society. And I find that a little bit problematic when one tries to communicate when they're using a word drastically different than, well, frankly, everyone else does.
Okay, good. Hold a second. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna run this inquiry on pretty strict terms because I think this is going to be really productive for both of us. But I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, to move through each specific assertion that you make that challenges my position, and let's look at the detail as we go, rather than. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay. So if you can start, and feel comfortable with having a crack at me, because I have no problem at all with that. Like Rose was saying, this is an opportunity for. These are the richest times of learning, when we actually go after the truth without any fear or favour. Yeah, so go for it. Now, I don't know who these people in the room are. I hope that they're good people and won't misbehave, so I've brought them straight into the conversation. But
you can give me controls if you want.
I will.
I have a question. How do you find the truth?
Who's
You have
that?
to look for it.
But how do you look
Right.
for the
You have to,
But I know the absolute truth. I know the
Hold on.
absolute
Well, you
truth.
can't just look for the truth, because what if you look for the truth and you look inside a butt?
see now you're just
Oh,
no,
hang
well,
on,
you-
who is that? Who said that? Which person said that, right?
Can I speak? Can I speak? Can I speak?
Which person said
Wrong.
that, right?
Corona. Corona.
But
Donald
say you're
Trump
looking,
already
but
passed.
say you're looking for the truth, but like, what if like different religions and different say for example, you're looking for the truth, but different religions say different things, and how do you know what's the truth?
Right. Because okay, can I answer that?
Yeah,
If
go.
you mind. Okay. I had to study all the religions I could find. I had to look into Luciferian, Satanism, Catholic, Christian, Jewish, Muslim. I had to look into all that. I studied all of them, and then what came to me was I don't believe in any religion. I don't believe in a religion, period. None of them felt comfortable with me. So that's my personal truth. So what is comfortable for you is not going to be the same thing that's comfortable for me.
Yeah, we're all different people.
Right.
I have a question.
May I disagree? Well,
Hello there.
here's how I view it.
Hi, mister.
Mr. Brainiac here. I have a question.
One second.
Okay.
1 second. So, I hold the view, and I think I'm fucking pretty right, pardon the French, but that every human is equal when it comes to spirituality. So there may be many roads to this truth, but there is only one truth, and that will never fucking change, because we are made for spirituality. We're made for spirituality all the same. Doesn't matter about male, female. That's why I can see Rose, and she comes from her background to the truth. And Lukey, we can look at Luke. He's Lukey, we're lifting weights. Anyway, so that's my, and I hold that to be absolutely true. And I think it's one of the wonderful things about humanity is that we are fucking equal. It's true. There is only one race. It's called the human race. Anyway, I think who had a question? Mister, I think.
Yeah,
That was
mister.
me. That was me, Mr. Brainiac. I have a question. If you guys,
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, your profile picture with the Islam thing. Like, what's the problem with it? With their religion?
Good question.
Yeah. So do I have a problem with the religion? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes, I have a fucking major problem. I hate
Whoa.
Islam with a passion, but I like Muslim people.
Hey, let's keep this rated PG. Do not use that word.
Hey, what's that?
He said let's keep it PG. He's telling you what to do in your own room. That you shouldn't swear.
Oh, okay. No, we're allowed a little liberal swearing, and you know, if there's kids watching, sorry kids.
And for all you kids watching, your parents aren't parents because Luke Dog's here, so fuck you, cunt sucking motherfucking piece of shit.
Damn.
That was rude.
Damn, whoa. Luke.
All I wanted was the juice box.
What's your problem with Islam? That's what he wants to know.
Oh, okay. It's a false teaching. It's absolutely got nothing to do with spirituality. It's pure politics. So,
How is
and
that?
I promise you, I can explain that in absolute detail. And I am going after Islam big time, or as hard as I can, to destroy that religion. And what I want the Muslims to consider is the true Jesus' doctrine, because it's true. It's 100% accurate.
But how are you going against the Muslims? Man? That's an ancient religion. I mean, that's.
Oh, there's ways and means,
I mean, isn't it pretty much the same thing? Like Muhammad was just another prophet like
people,
Jesus?
hey, Rose will confirm this point. People, when they get to the truth, they really love
Well,
it.
I can't confirm it for you. Whatever, man.
Yes, you can, yes. And Luke can confirm it because he's in the truth too.
Can I
We
say
love-
something? Can I say something?
We love being in the truth.
Well, hold on. Let him. Are you done talking about Islam?
But here's my counter thing is like Islamic religion kind of connects to the Christianity religion in multiple ways more than it does
That's factual.
in Jewish religion, because they're the one over there who want to get rid of.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but I've got a deliberate course of action. I want to sort of try and encourage people to consider the real Jesus person. Who? What's Luke doing?
Sorry, Rob,
Yeah.
I have to stop you there. You said, and just a few minutes ago, to find the truth, and these people.
I gotta stop you there. You said that he
What
said
makes you
something
think?
about
What makes you think?
Hold on. Wait. Frank was saying something.
Luke, sorry, Rose, you got controls. But I think we need to bring the
Oh,
conversation
I
back
muted him.
to Shadow. We need to.
Oh wait. He can't speak. He wants to say something. He hasn't said anything. I
Okay.
think it's only fair to listen to what Frank has to say.
All right, okay.
I can't speak. Oh, fuck.
I'll remember my topic. I'm more than happy to sit back and listen for a bit.
Thank you, Shadow.
It was really
I don't
just
know how to-
linguistics anyway.
I hate linguistics. Don't talk to me about
Rob, you have to do it. It won't let me.
what? Do what?
It won't let me unmute him. Frank.
Who's that, Frank?
Frank, I can't unmute him. You have to do it.
I
Hey,
think
Frank,
he's already-
do it yourself.
He has no mic.
You have to do it yourself.
Hello?
Frank,
Hello?
there you go.
Yeah,
Sorry
that's it,
about
Frank.
that.
That's all right.
I'm new to this YouTube thing.
Okay.
Rob, you said a few minutes ago that people can find their own truth. But here you are saying that that Jesus, there's only one true Jesus. So you gotta tell me, brother, what's up?
Oh, okay. So, what's your background? Are you Christian or?
I'm an alien.
Well, I don't believe you.
Oh.
So I'm just curious about your position. What point are you trying to prove?
I'm a Christian, but I still respect the Muslim religion.
Now, Rose, no disrespect, but I've got to tell the truth if I know it.
There's a really bad echo.
Okay,
Yeah.
is it me or?
It's you, Rob.
Okay.
Okay,
So
now.
I can't talk. I talk amongst yourselves.
No. I want you to talk too, but I just can't hear when people are talking. I don't think anyone can. Frank,
Fair enough.
okay, does anyone else have an argument on this, or?
I have an argument, Mr. Brainiac. I think the biggest key here is you're going against the Islam nation because it doesn't agree with your Christianity. It's like if I like chocolate cake and somebody else likes strawberry cake, should I try to ban strawberry cake? Like it doesn't affect me as a person.
Rob's
Right.
not a Christian. He doesn't even believe in the Bible.
Alright then, so why is he trying to take it down and saying yes to Jesus?
He don't like Islam. He believes in only Jesus, and that Jesus is the only one, even though Jesus is in the Bible, which confuses me too. But you know what? He allows me a place where I can banter what I want to banter at least. And you know what? I banter that banter every single night for you people. Try testing it true. The man with a plan and a beer in his motherfucking hand every night.
Yo, I love you, bro. You're my idol.
Well, technically speaking, back to its origins, the term Christian was merely follower of Christ, and under that grounds, he may have been
Christ like that's what I've been saying for months, and no one gets it. It's only mentioned 2 times in the Bible. 2 times in the Bible, and then, man, you remind me of that Christ guy they just crucified. Wow, fact check. You know what? Call yourself a Christian, but you can go back older school than that. Believer, non-believer, receiver, non-deceiver, real, fucking hellbound.
You have no idea what I just said to you. Oh, well, I expected as much.
It doesn't matter what you said is live. We can rewind it for next time and catch it the second try.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, bro.
Now Luke's got a lot to offer if you guys would just start fucking listening to him. But anyway,
What I got to offer it, it matters what they want. You can have it. Anyone can have it. You know that, Rob. Tell them the motherfucking fans the truth. The
yes,
reason why
that's
they
right.
diss
It
this
is
person.
actually all about the truth. No
Sell it.
person on
Sell
the
it.
planet should tell fucking lies, and Jesus said that, and it's a good bit of advice. But anyway, who spoke? Someone had raised an issue. I missed
I
it.
see what you just did there.
Well, they said Islam and Christianity. They said Islam and Christianity is almost the same thing. So why would you have a problem with it? But then Luke explained that you don't believe in the Bible, so.
Correct. That's right.
If you don't believe in the Bible, hey, sorry.
Yeah. Now I can explain it at an organisational level and at an individual level. It's exactly the same.
So what's your religion? So what's your religion?
No religion.
No religion.
No religion.
Just Jesus.
Just religion.
That's a religion.
Yeah, he keeps,
No, it's not a-
hang on, if I may, Rob, for a moment, could you state your position regarding the Book of Thomas and Jesus, please?
That's so loud. Oh my god. Sorry, Luke, it's so loud. I'm so sorry, Luke.
Does he live in a, like, restroom and he keeps hitting the little hand dryer or something?
I don't know. I'm sorry, Luke. It's really loud. What'd you say, Shadow? You said Rob to explain his position?
I asked if he could explain his position regarding Jesus in the Book of Thomas, I believe it was.
That's correct. Okay, so I wrote a book. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, well, Rose, you know, it is what it is. Don't go all
I'm gonna stay out of this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I understand if you're uncomfortable and you need to leave and all the rest of it, but anyway, well, you know as well as I do that the one truth you hold, I hold, Luke holds, Benny the Bull holds. You know, we're starting to gather a whole little bloody enlightened army around us. Oh, and there was this. Hey, Rose, this is an interesting thing. This is this bloody. I don't know if you come across him, but he's a hamburglar, or you know, he's got a little animated hamburglar.
Oh, yeah, Luke was talking about him yesterday.
Yeah, he's so funny. You should do a hangout with this dude, you know. And actually, when you get him and Luke playing off each other, it's Comedy Central.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like to do my shows with information, though. I mean, that's okay if I'm just doing a fuck it show, but
That's cool. That's cool.
If I may, Rob, I believe there are people that were waiting with bated breath to hear your answer.
Oh, okay. Well, see, enlightened folk, you know, capture the moment and they see something that's important and they just turn their attention to it. Don't we, Rose?
yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. I think, Rose, we see, there I go again. Rose, I think, you know, our intelligence level is pretty good. I don't know whether to rate on an IQ scale, but fucking pretty impressive.
I don't know. I don't toot my own horn. I don't know.
No, I do, because I would like for people to know that there's, you know, this is a great place to be. That's why I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, you know, we're running out of time on this planet. We've got to fucking get our shit together in a hurry.
So what's up with the Book of Thomas, though?
Yeah, I'm getting to it. All right. Keep me on point.
Yeah.
So, I wrote a book, what is this thing called God, right? And that was my life's journey into studying, just like Rose did, inquiring, you know, what is this spiritual story? And I was fortunate enough to stumble across a lost document has been lost for a number of years. I think 320 AD to 1945, and then it was found, right? So it's hidden away, and it's called the Gospel of Thomas. I'm suspicious of the naming because it really is the Gospel of Jesus, because it's just his teachings. Thomas was only the pen man, so I only wrote them down. It's a collection of 114 sayings. It promises at the opening that if you can interpret, and there is a requirement to interpret, I've done that work. So interpret these sayings, you will lose the terminology is the taste of death. Now what that means is you lose the fear of death. Now if I ask Rose or if I ask Lukey, you know, that question, are you afraid of death? They just instantly say no, without hesitation, and then they want to talk about something else. It's just not something that the mind seems to entertain at all. And that was true in my family circle, right? So you get this liberation from this fear of death, which is, you know, a heavyweight thing to carry through life. You don't
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. I know, Rosie. That's why I know you, and you know me. You know, we you know, the thing I was thinking about, Rose, the other day is that it's like we're thinking out of one mind. You feel that?
Well, I think that's just from Jesus conscious, right?
Yeah. Okay, but you know, whichever way we describe it, I think, you know, there's that oneness, right? So I'm looking through these sayings and I interpret them all, and I find that it actually works. You know, it actually delivers on its promise. It's also something that Plato spoke about, and because we're talking about the human condition, it shouldn't surprise that the information that we're talking about.
Man, you don't have to answer. Just like, let me just stop you right there, bro. First off, Detective Conan is the greatest ongoing shonen. Shout out to me.
No.
Wait, what are you talking about?
No. Something cognitive.
I have to mute you right there. Don't ever disrespect, Mister. You are right. You are so.
Okay, come on. Yeah,
All right, you guys. Let's put our grown-up pants on.
Welcome to the portion of the show where we mute each other.
Now, what's happening here is interesting. What's happening here? Hang on. Shut up. What's happening here, right across this group? We can actually determine people that are cognitive dissonant about this.
I mean, obviously, what's happening here is we are here with a plethora, a crew, a group, a regime, a whole posse of motherfucking people in the clique.
I know who they are. I know where they come from. It's cool.
That's right. Welcome to the motherfucking.
We come from the new world. The new world.
Is that the guy from the mask?
So these are fucking.
Django! You're the guy from the mask.
It doesn't matter, you know. It's a bit of an education problem. I don't mind. Yeah, I was curious about the timing that they all came from. So, yeah.
I know where they came from. It's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Where do we come from? I wonder.
Oh, I'm not gonna say that, dude.
Motherfucking vagina.
Hey.
I'm not gonna bust out the past.
Reverse. Listen, hang on. Reverse. Listen. Shut up. Listen, reverse. You picked the wrong people to mess with. We're fucking superior than to you. Now, Rose, I know that's beat me on.
How are you more superior than me? We're all crazy people. I could argue this all day.
Hey? You're kidding, aren't you? Do you want to take us on?
Actually, Rob, if you're thinking that they're part of that group that I was trying out with earlier, none of the voices match. None of the voices match.
No. Shadow's not part of that. Shadow's not part of that.
Let's build them up. How about we build them up? Maybe they
Alright,
want to be part of the group.
I actually would debate this.
It's all okay, folks. It's all okay. Just settle down.
I'm just saying, show me acid first at least and see what the same guy from the mask. The guy from the mask left, never mind.
They know I know where they're from. That's why.
Yeah, okay.
Where are we from? I'm trying to wonder. I'm trying to think.
No, we're not.
I'm not gonna say my friend's name out on here. I'm not gonna do it because I don't care what you guys do.
We're not answering it, so get over.
I don't care what you guys do. It doesn't matter to me. But
So
trust me, I know a lot more than you think.
You write down the how you know it. I think I know who you are too, but I'm not sure.
Hey, dude, shut the
I
fuck
think
up.
I know who you are.
Yeah.
Hang on, Luke. Can you finish drying your hands, please? The bathroom hairdryer is making way too much noise, man.
Oh, you're talking about that thing with the guy.
Yeah. It's so loud.
Looks-
I love hearing you talk though, Luke, but sometimes just makes it sounds like there's a like he just said about the hairdryer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And Rose, that explains what I was watching is the viewer count. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, what was happening, it was going to be a setup, and they were going to try and storm. But trust me, I'm still in full control.
No, I'm not gonna say anymore. They mean no harm. They just doing their thing. It's all good.
Well, yeah,
I
but
don't mean
see,
any
Rose,
harm.
I've been bullied for 12 months by these clowns, and
Well, in
I
this
don't
case, it
want
seems like people that want to challenge you more so than bully you.
What's that, sorry?
Yeah.
It seems like people that want to challenge you more so than bully you.
No,
That's
mate,
the impression I'm getting.
No.
Yeah, that's the impression I got too. It just seemed like they really were asking you questions.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna troll, then like they'll play music or they'll show some porn or they'll just be annoying. But actually, they're actually asking questions. So.
No, Rose, may I give my viewpoint?
Mm.
Okay, because it actually physically affected me. I had to go into care and all the rest of it, and it was directly because they were trolling. And it's specifically, in a very lethal type of trolling, they agitate. We got videos of all this sort of stuff, so I'm back for the fight. What they did is they did the teasing business, but it escalated over time. And I didn't know that this was what was happening, and I got to fever pitch in terms of frustration. It doesn't happen now because I'm enlightened, but it did at that particular point, and it led to a stay in care, so it's had implications to physical health, to income, a whole raft of things. And I don't know how much you know about the Sugar Rose instance, but they did the same thing to her.
But this is a different group of people, Rob.
No, it's not. Oh, this group.
This is a different group.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. But I'm just talking about the principle of trolling. I tolerate it not. I just don't. And I won't stand down from it, and I won't walk away from it, and I'll kick people in the ass intellectually, right, until they fucking tell the truth, and that's doing them a favour. And I have a huge problem when we play it down and sort of accept this sort of behaviour, because people are doing themselves harm, and you know this, Rose, by these sort of behaviours, there's a karma context. And it actually, the end of the road, when they actually come to pass, and I've seen this passing event, what happens when a person doesn't reconcile spiritually, and it comes time to death, they die in regret, and it's the worst fucking thing ever. And you might think, well, fucking hell, you're being over the top here, Rob. But it's because they are allowed to, basically develop ego behaviours. I saw it from the inside, right? I was the persecutor, the victim. And I promise you, good people like Brother John, Cerebus and that did extremely malicious things. And the level that they escalated to because I stood up to them, sorry, cognitive dissonance.
You hit him from. He wanted to say something to me, to you, and he wanted to tell you I would have debated him on taking away my rights, and you hit him from the broadcast, so he couldn't speak.
But that's okay, Rose. I mean, shit, tomorrow's another day. You can have it then.
Well, the thing is, people don't necessarily come back day to day. Sometimes you'll get somebody that's never heard of you before that'll come in, interested in finding out what you're all about. And if you don't actually give them a chance to speak and engage and find out what's going on, well, just these things will happen. You'll never see them again.
That's okay. That's life, no harm, no foul.
But I thought you were concerned with enlightening all kinds of different people out there. Isn't that kind of against your mission?
Not every fucker, because it's a lot of hard work, mate. I promise you. You've got no
But
idea.
if somebody comes in truly seeking, which some of these people seem to be, seeking answers at least.
No, I'm going to conduct it this way. If they're interested in the answers, I've got them, and I know I've got them. If they want that, they have to do it on my terms. I'm not going to fucking pander to their silly position. I've had all that stuff, and I've had those conversations. And Rose, you know what I'm talking about because you probably would dearly love to help people, but they just are frustratingly fucking ignorant, you know. And,
Okay. There's a point of being frustrated, ignorant, and letting somebody talk and ask questions, whether you agree with what they're asking you or not. Rob, no offense, Rob, but I can't lump everybody into one category and say, well, you're just like everybody else, when they're just asking me a question. I do this for 8 hours sometimes, Rob. I know how difficult it is.
Rose, no, this is me.
No.
Well, no, this is my call. I don't tell you what to do, and I know that you won't tell me what to do, but I'm just expressing to you, this is my call. I've made my decision. This is how I'm going to function, you know? Yeah.
Well, in my room, this is how I would do it. I would allow them to talk. But just saying. Right. But I understand if you don't want to deal with it, that's up to you.
I'll give you a race, and we'll see how many people we can enlighten, and that's a great idea.
Well, I'm not trying to enlighten people. I mean, if that happens, it happens. What I'm trying to do is just present what I know.
The truth.
And, well, I mean, I hope so. But last night I learned a different perspective that I didn't ever consider before. And because I allowed everyone to share with me their different views, I was able to, it unlocked something in me, and I was able to see it from a different way. And all these years, I've always saw it this way. And just by talking to this one person, Jake, last night, I totally saw it in a totally different way. Totally flipped the coin. And I was just, like, blown away by it. So, like, sometimes you think you might know a certain way, but then if you let somebody talk and that might have a different opinion, you never know what you might learn from that.
Rose?
Sage words, Rose.
No, not really. Well, certainly for someone on the journey, but I'm actually at the end of the journey, you know, and I'm just about...
Well, I am too, but we always have room to be encouraged and shown a different perspective. Actually, I'm not at the end of the journey. I'm still on the journey to the day I die. So I'm going to take that back.
No, Rose.
Yeah, I'm going to take that back. I'm still on the journey.
Rose. Can I give you a counter position, though? That's all I want to give you.
Well, if you let me finish first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. What I'm saying is, it's without the echo, though.
I'm not sure who the echo is.
That's
me. Wrong. I don't want to mute him because it's his room. I don't want to be rude.
Fair.
Yeah, what I was saying is, this is, I don't want to mute you. Alright. It's a constant journey I feel like I'm on. I don't feel I have all the answers, no. Do I know more than I did 3 years ago? Yes. 5 years ago? Yes. But I just learned something last night that totally changed my perspective just by listening to this one guy. The first time he ever came in my room was last night. And I actually started crying because I was like, wow, I never thought of it that way. And it was amazing.
Moment. It's great, isn't it, man?
Yeah, it was so amazing. And I was just like, wow. And I thought about it this morning, too. I was like, I am so thankful for him coming in and showing me this. And, you know, I even texted him and I IM'd him and I said, you know, thank you. Please come on again. You know, because we're not always right. I don't feel that we might think we have all the answers, but the answers are in all of us. And I think that if we allow each person to speak and give a fair way of their thinking, whether it be negative or positive, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think we can learn from each other regardless. Whatever. That's how I feel.
Hey, Rose, have you ever heard of TED?
TED? What? The movie TED?
No. It's called The Amazing Meeting. It's where they gather all these great minds together and they talk about all kinds of weird stuff.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's TED. Really? It's actually really cool. They'll have all these different speakers. Some of them I like. Some of them are, well, they had Dawkins. I wasn't too happy with that one, quite frankly. I've never been a big Dawkins fan myself, to say the least. But in any case, some of these...
Hang on a second, dude. Hang on a second.
Is it called TED Talks?
Yeah, TED Talks. That's it, yeah.
Thank you, I found it. Thank you.
There's one moment. I'm almost done.
Hang on.
There's a great one called Being Right. I'd recommend it. It's fantastic.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see it. Thank you so much. I'm going to check that out.
I'm done now.
Hang on. Yeah, okay,
Thank you, Shadow.
Hang on. Don't get too far off point because Rose expressed her opinion on a topic.
Yeah.
It's appropriate and very important that in our conversations I get to express the counter opinion.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, please.
Okay. So I hold the view, and I hold it very strongly, that I hold the absolute position in terms of spirituality. So I don't agree with what you're saying. I got that it's validated in the Jesus teachings, it's validated in me experientially, it's validated in through all the texts, and I just know that I've got and I've worked out all of the basic elements down to the base point, right? When I take on an inquiry, I always follow it to the base point so that I can learn that. So in the accounting that I learned, it was A equals L plus P R minus C. That's the base level. In computing, which I worked as an IT manager, it was 1 and 0. Once you understand base points, you understand everything upstream from that. And the base points in spirituality are these two survival instincts that we hold inside every single human. I don't subscribe to subjectivity at all in spiritual reality. It's totally and absolutely 100% objective. And that gets up people's nose, but fuck, I don't care. I mean, this is just me and this is my viewpoint. If you don't like it, go bang your head against the wall. It's not my problem. So that's the view I take, and I won't shift ground. In Jesus' day, there was a group of people, they were called the immovables, right? So they were a collective thing. And when I saw that, I thought, oh my goodness, there is an ultimate understanding in spirituality. That's why they were called the immovables. That's me. That's who I am. So I'll listen to your point of view, but it's a laborious thing for me, not being disrespectful, because I just know it's true. So when I look at you and I see you as a spiritual person, and I see the enlightened context, then it should be about trimming around the edges. It worries me a little that you have a sort of like an epiphany, because to me you are where you need to be. You can't.
Epiphany with last night.
Well, I don't know. If you and it's totally up to you, right? But I just worry a little, and maybe if you want to, maybe just have a chat to me about it privately, and we just work through and make sure that it is the right thing. Because I'd hate you to.
Well, I'll say it right here. It doesn't have to be private. It was on my Hangout last night.
Okay.
It's public.
Yeah. So
right.
that's all I have to say on it. So you got your turn.
Okay. Well, what it was sorry, I'm hearing the echo again. Okay. What it was is that I got a lot of fucked up family members on one side of my family, right? They're fucked up. They're evil. I don't want nothing to do with them. And it's been like that for years and years and years, and I have no problem with that. And then last night, we were talking about perspective and about how did I get closer to Jesus. And I was like, because I learned from these people how evil they are, how I don't want to be. And he said, well, don't you think that they might love you the most then if they brought you closer to Jesus Christ? And I just went, whoa. And then if you think about it as we all know each other and we all come here and we all meet each other for certain reasons, like I'll meet Luke for a certain reason, or whoever for a certain reason. Hold on, I'm not done. Wait, Rob, dude, come on. So then what my point is that maybe these people, because in a spiritual way, spiritually, they love me that much that they have came here to be the catalyst of that evil to push me closer to Jesus Christ. That's what I'm saying. They're the catalyst. Okay, and I never thought of it that way.
Right. I got it, right? I get things very quickly, right? And I'm really...
No, I'm talking to everybody on the board that was been listening, so then they understand what I'm talking about.
But for my benefit, what I need, I just wanted to stop you and get you to repeat that sort of that motherhood statement, which was, and I want to just understand what it was. Just say the thing that you went wow about again, and just keep it into a little short sentence. I just want to.
Oh, I'm done. That's it.
No. I'd like you to repeat it because I didn't quite catch it. What was it? So, what was the wow moment? Is it about your family?
Rob, we don't
about
hear
it. Hey, what? Well, what? What did he say? Oh, Lukey, I missed it. What did you say? It'll be important.
Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, okay. So it was something.
Here he comes.
I can't tell you because I can't repeat myself. And if I repeat myself about not repeating myself, then I'm repeating myself.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I got it.
I don't want to repeat myself, but I will for you, Rob. My epiphany moment was thinking, well, why these people are just full of hate and they're just evil people. I want nothing to do with them. And then my epiphany was when he pointed out, well, maybe they're the catalyst that chose to be that evil in the spiritual form in this where we are now. This is spiritual. It's not just about physical and mental. It's a spiritual.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so they're the catalyst spiritually to help me. You keep cutting me off, dude.
Yeah, but I got it.
Oh, you're pissing me off now, Rob. I'm gonna punch you in your gut. What the hell?
I don't know. Asking her to explain something, then stopping her from finishing the explanation kind of confuses me as to what the motivation would be.
She went through the full explanation. I just needed to get the idea. I couldn't quite see it. So that's actually valid, Rose. Valid. So I understand that, and that's not going to do you any harm. So I'm just happy. That's all. I was just worried for you. Make sure it was right.
Well, it is right because
yeah, okay.
I felt it.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to say, Rob.
Because people can tell you shit is wrong. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
No, I have discernment and I have a strong intent.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Luke. I have discernment though, and it's very strong. And nobody's just gonna lie to me. And I go, oh yeah, I believe you. I'm not gullible. What I'm saying is, when I'm getting tears in my eyes, and I actually feel that this is the truth for me, then it is correct.
It is, but it'll also be the truth for everybody. That's an absolute truth. So, and it's great. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm just naturally curious about that particular part, but it's whether you want to do private or whatever. And I just concerned that I wouldn't want to see your spirituality, which to me is the perfect spirituality, harmed in any way. That's all. And I know your discernment's all there, so maybe I need to kick up the arse, but it doesn't hurt to have these talks.
Both feet at the same exact time, straight up in your ass.
Okay, Shadow, back to you, dude.
Please.
For what now?
I don't know,
dude.
I don't know.
Back to a discussion from an hour ago, or?
Well, I think so. We were the Gospel of Thomas we were trying to talk about, and we got interrupted.
Well, one of the fellows that had come in here was curious as to what your stance is, so I thought it'd be helpful to them prior to going into a further discussion for you to explain that. I've already heard it.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Well, see, that's all the hard work too. You got to put in, you got to repeat things, and you got to fucking stay accurate because you can't lie and all the rest of it. So, anyway, well, the floor is yours. You can take it in any direction you want.
Well, actually, I'd like to hit on something that Rose was talking about, because I think that there's a lot of good notions in there, especially when it comes to things, whether you want to call it faith or belief or what have you. I think that
belief is the problem. Belief is the foundation problem. What's a belief? It's a fucking false notion held in mind. And that's what creates ego, and that's the root problem.
Hey, Rob, I just got something on my Twitter for you. They said, would you please stop interrupting? I just wanted to share it with you.
Okay, but it was an important point, Luke. Okay, sorry, mate. Over to you.
Okay, but in any case, as I was saying, whether it's faith or belief or something that's a deeply held conviction or what have you.
Sorry, I just had to say that. It's the enemy of the world. I can't let that go unnoticed.
Yes, but belief is indeed... Oh, let me get to the point and you'll understand why I'm using the word, perhaps.
No, I probably already understand. No, well, actually, I don't.
Okay, please, by all means.
Rob, people on my Twitter are hashtagging it. Let them get to the point. They're hashtagging it right now. I already got 5 hashtags for letting them get to the point.
Hey, look,
Rob, I'd like to invite you to make my point for me, then. Go for it. I'll give you 5.
Nah, I haven't got it, mate. I was joking.
No. I got 8 hashtags now on my fake Twitter saying that he needs to get to the point and Rob needs to quit interrupting. There's like a hashtag war, hashtag Rob, let him finish, and hashtag get to the point. This is a war, guys. I've never had this, especially on my fake Twitter.
In any case, as I was saying, trying to say at least, whenever somebody holds something, and there we go, I'll put it that way so Rob doesn't feel the immediate need to interrupt, what happens is you have these viewpoints. And how can you know how valid they are or how true they are until you really allow them to be tested? Because I find that in terms of trying to understand things, the more you have to question your own views towards things, there we go, I'll use views this time exclusively, the more you evaluate and the more you come to understand what your position really is.
Well, let's answer the question. Oh, bugger. Here we go.
Actually, if I may for a moment, in the Old Testament, prior to the introduction of the anthropomorphization of this Satan character into the devil as it was carried forward into Christianity, the character of Hasatan was actually a member of the divine council, a loyal servant of God who was tasked with questioning the faith of his followers. And the purpose of this was to try and help them grow in their understanding of the divine. This actually goes back to Judaism. Now, Christianity certainly took a different spin on this, which is influenced predominantly during the Second Temple period by the introduction of Hellenistic traditions within the temple during the late Second Temple period under the direction of Rome. But in any case, the point is that even the initial Satan character as presented by the Jews in the Old Testament, his purpose was to test people's faith so they can come to a better understanding of the divine. So your story actually I thought was really kind of neat because it kind of showcases that a little bit.
Well,
and that was in relation to Rose, of course.
Yeah. Now, the way I inquire, right, I'll start at the top, I'll look across, so I use the analogy of a tree. So I'll start at the branches at the top, and then I'll gradually progress down to the trunk and down to the actual seed, and that's what I'm looking for. And I'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until I fucking find it. So what you discussed then is sort of, you know, middle level stuff, you know, abstractions to sort of try and define spirituality. I've sort of that sort of makes it hard work for me because I can do it. I've got to correlate each abstraction or myth or whatever it is that's supposed to be based on something that's real in this world. But here's the bottom line, right? It comes down, like in computers, an on and off switch. In humans, every single human, male, female, doesn't matter, stuff, we all have these two survival instincts. So you've heard that story, and perhaps I can stop there. But this is the absolute condition of spirituality. So when you talk at it up at the level, you know, where it's all mythical, devils and demons and all that sort of shit, you know, I think we should.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Yes, sir.
But the fans want an up, so I gotta give them a quick up. Okay. I got to. They're waiting, and I want them to have it. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages who should not be watching Luke Dog, but apparently your parents aren't parents, so don't blame me when little Eric jumps off a building. You should have been watching him. Apparently he ain't parents. I know what you people want. I know what you've longed for. I know what you've waited on. It was this moment right here. This moment that's going to stay with you in your dreams tonight. For you faggoty-ants, you raggedy-ants, and...
Excuse me, Luke, are you having a seizure?
No, he's fine. He's just...
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Yeah, no, he's fine. No, Luke's his own person, and we don't interfere with Luke.
Excuse me, did this jabroni just interrupt Luke Dog?
Yeah, just making sure you weren't having a seizure there.
I wasn't finished.
I'll take it that's a no, you weren't. Okay, please continue then.
This moment that each and every one of you worldwide have been waiting for. The moment you desired, the moment you wanted was from the showstopper, the body rocker, the main eventer, the icon, the man, the myth, the legend. I am a real American.
That noise fiddles that use in the toilet.
The thing your husbands wish they had, and the thing you wish you know you had. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, world motherfucking wide. I am Luke Dog. I have 4 channels. I have been flagged multiple times. So.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you.
I wasn't finished.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
If you went down with that,
Is that finished?
for you. I said I wasn't finished yet. I got 2 words for you.
Tourette syndrome?
No.
Oh, sorry. I was sure it was going to be Tourette syndrome. Sorry.
No. Now, Luke's got his own way. Thank you, Luke. Luke's got his own way of expressing himself, but if you don't allow him to express himself, you miss some real fucking gems. It's just brilliant.
That's true.
That's true. We live with the truth.
Oh, that's great. I beat him in a rap battle, like when you was fucking fake. Grab you, this is your fucking show. I'm just the guy here giving you ratings.
No, you're the co-host. Okay, dude, I think.
I ain't a co-host. I don't co-host the door. I'm a special guest.
Okay. Anyway, so I don't like to talk about right or other levels and all that bullshit. I'd rather talk about what the real components are. Right, so I've actually worked it down to that level. So there's 2 survival strategies inside us all. One survival strategy, and if you look in nature, you'll see.
What's up with Kenneth?
Oh,
sorry.
I think he's died. He doesn't look too well.
He does.
Curiosity, Rob.
I forgot about it, right?
Hey, Rob, may I ask how many viewers we have?
8.
Kenneth, how are you? Speak.
Hey, Rob, out of curiosity, do you mind if I ask how many viewers we have?
Well,
Just
going down to 9. They didn't. I don't think Luke.
Oh, so you actually had a lot more earlier then. Cool.
Man, we don't believe in luck. We're actually blessed.
Well, if you had more earlier, it was because people were interested because there was more people on the panel that were asking questions, and that would be the case, right?
Actually, I think it might be directed. I was actually doing that as a jab in the direction of Luke, who was claiming responsibility for all the viewers. Rob did fine on his own earlier. Rob did just fine on his own.
We have been holding our view the whole time, and Luke Doug was here from the motherfucking start. Yatch.
I'm talking about his earlier hangout. He did perfectly fine on his own.
Actually, you know what? You know you think you're gonna cause riff raff like a rift rafter? You ain't no motherfucking guy to go in between.
I'm just concerned about you taking credit for his work.
You're a skull. What do you know?
Shadow.
No.
I've got a tip for you.
He's a wolf squirrel.
Squirrel.
Oh, sorry, I was totally looking at the beauty. Whoa,
I'll give you a tip.
Sky guy. I know the wolf guy. I talked to this motherfucking wolf guy a night or 2 ago, I believe. He's wolf with that same radio voice. Thinking he's the Howard Stern of YouTube. Well, I'm the former Howard Stern of YouTube. Now I'm just the Eminem of YouTube. But you know what, Eminem? Hey.
Do I need to get out the puppets to confuse you again?
Oh, I remember you.
Hey. 5.
Girl, man, stuff animals. What? Diploma's back. chewing his gum, chewing it. Yep, he's just chewing it. Yep.
Oh, they said Shadow is intellectual
He is intellectual.
in the chat room.
He's the intellectual world community.
They're saying he's into it. Well, I'm not saying we're not, but I'm just saying that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying, ladies.
Rob interrupted Rose and pissed her off. Shadow's next.
Hey, have another look. Well, I think we're good to go.
I have my channels, I have my subs, so I'm not worried.
Our butt hurts last for about 2 seconds.
I still sound insane, somebody said. Rose, you still sound insane. Okay, sure.
No, she's not. No way.
Okay.
I don't know, I think Rose has said a few sensible things tonight, to say the least.
Thank you.
You know what?
She's right on the phone.
Fiction fighter.
Somebody said, wow, Rose has changed a bit since the last time I heard her speak. I'm in shock.
Listen, these guys remind me of the WWE fans. They watch a show, they claim they dislike, yet they watch it.
Hang on, how many people being asked on the side were the troll-inspired video I made? The old Anon one?
I'm sorry.
It makes no sense. They're bored. I'm sorry, guys. You know what? I didn't get a word in edgewise, and I feel like I was called the co-host a few times, but you know what? Fuck these cocksucking motherfuckers. I'm saying it. I don't even care. I'm saying it.
Hang on,
I can leave. I don't want to take away your glory, Luke. I can leave. Maybe it's because I'm here. You're not talking enough.
If I may.
No, there's nothing new with that. I just wanted to say something.
Sorry, Shadow.
Quick.
I hear you.
Oh, okay, I'm going to be a rude bastard now. To answer the question that was asked in the sidebar, back when I first came on here, when I was covering Scientology, the first series I did was the Science of Survival series, and unfortunately, when I was trying to get them to stop annoying the crap out of me because they think they have trolls here, I was getting thousands of Scientologists every day coming to just piss me off.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I finally said to hold all the damn videos down to basically reset the view counters so I wouldn't have to deal with the little pinheads any longer. And at that point, I forgot to actually back up some of the videos, and that was on the list.
Oh, yeah. They can, they're their own cult. You try to talk shit about them, they come after you. Oh, that's true.
Oh, I know. They managed to find the fake IDs I was using through my online IDs, and that was kind of fun. They dropped the wrong person. Literally.
Yeah. They'll do that. I don't, they'll just do whatever they can to just like try to get
have your name, Mark Lawrence. Are you the Christian artist, Mark Lawrence? I said, no. They said, we know that it's the truth. I'm like, it's really not. I feel sorry for the poor slob. Mark Lawrence was a hit name that I picked to entrap my ex-wife when she was cheating, actually. So, not me.
So then you trapped the Scientologist with it too. It worked two times. Great. To keep that one around. That one's a good one.
Oh, it still exists.
Hey, Kenneth.
Fake emails older than your name is.
Yeah. I bet. They'll try. Hey, Rob, you got some new people in here. Taylor. Kenneth is still here, and Luke is here.
Kenneth worries me because he's got that damn bloody...
He said, what's up?
It's a Guy Fawkes mask, actually. Now, my curiosity is if some of the old Anons that I used to deal with managed to find out where I was hanging and what account I was under, because that could be the case. Might not be, but you never know.
Alright, dude, speak, Kenneth, or I'm going to kick you.
He said, what's up?
Oh, well, I want to hear his voice.
Oh, Taylor said hi.
It's the troll thing. Come on.
No, Taylor troll.
But that's the thing is, back in the day, I was supporting the collective when they were protesting Scientology. So every once in a while, when I see one of those masks, I never know if it was one of mine or not.
Yeah. Plus, people think it means, rebellion and justice, but actually, it totally, if you look into the history of it, it means nothing of that.
The protest, it was just, they were basically cautioned about, getting faced by the Church of Scientology and them sitting there following them around for the remainder of their life, suing the crap out of them. So it was kind of self-protection.
Hi, Taylor. Taylor, what's up?
Hello.
How are you?
Just,
What's that?
Hello.
Oh, here's where Taylor comes in.
If you've got a question or you want something to say, something,
Taylor
jump
was
in
really
anytime.
cool, like 14-year-old kid.
Alright, I'm kind of just listening right now. I got sent a link to this hangout, so.
Intelligent questions.
Oh,
asked
okay,
of a very
okay.
dumb man.
Weren't me. Now I put Kenneth back on the ice box because I'm just, you know, when they give me this mic crap, I'm just first they say there. And Luke, Rose, I don't know whether if you're like me, I can pick up the cues from the text sort of thing.
No, he's saying he's trying to talk, but you muted him.
No, he's saying I'm trying through the mic.
Right, he's trying to talk through the mic, but he can't. You muted him.
No, he was open, so he had that access at that point that he entered that.
It's not working.
Yeah, well that's it. So I don't entertain anyone that hasn't got a working mic. Just,
I think he means it might not be working because he's been muted. I don't know. That's in your realm. I'm gonna shut up.
I don't care. That's it. Okay, anyway.
Right, unmute, man.
Hang on, Luke, hang on.
Right, don't lie. You unmuted him, didn't you? Because I was working just a minute ago.
Nah. Hey, tomorrow's another day. Come back and have a chat another day.
No, no. Tomorrow's not another day. Tomorrow is today because today is technically tomorrow. So you haven't been in bed yet.
I've been beaten up.
You know what? Come on, man.
Okay.
I'm Justin Bieber.
Aaron, Lurk, we need to get back to Shadow, please.
Okay, you're so concerned about Shadow, your buddy. Okay, your new best buddy,
I'm not even sure I remember what the thing was called anymore.
You and Shadow are gonna have the Shadow and Rob fucking show.
Oh shit! What the fuck?
Well, you know, this is the Luke and Rob show, so he feels abandoned.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, can you comfort him, Rose, please?
Notice he said
No,
Luke
okay,
and Rob, not Rob and Luke. That means I.
Well, I suppose, Luke, all you need to do to get attention is either turn back on the hands dryer in your little bathroom there or make that...
No, it's off.
No, Shadow, there's a method in what appears to be the matter. He jumps in and he's right on cue and he's got something to say which is important. I'm not joking.
Perhaps I've missed that part?
Hey, what?
I might have missed that part.
It's in code.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Now all you gotta do is rewatch all
Oh,
the
no,
way
but
motherfucking show. Why? By the way, lectures are kind of low.
Hey? But he usually does stuff and it's usually important. So. You know, he's saying, Rob, basically do this, do that. So there's a bit of supervision going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
As I said, you seem to conduct yourself just
Well, that's because Rob used to have this whole method where he just muted everyone and got no results, no ratings, no reviews, and it was very boring. We don't want to listen to me captions.
Oh, I think
we want to interact. Interaction is key, and that's why you should unmute motherfucking Justin Bieber before he leaves, too.
Hey, Luke, could you... Okay. All right, thank you, Luke. Thank you. Yeah, Shadow, quick, go.
Actually, if I can ask another question to Rose, are you familiar with Buddha? Ah, Buddha time.
I've read, like I said, I've studied some of the religions. Yeah.
Cool. Did you know that over the course of his life, he actually never claimed to be enlightened? He simply referred to himself as being awakened because he considered certain contexts to be, well, let's just say certain meaning, special meaning to be involved with the idea of enlightenment, that it's something that is not actually achievable but always attainable. Only the divine itself could actually reach true enlightenment.
Well, see, I agree with that, and and I've never said I was enlightened. Rob says that, which he can say whatever he wants. I say I'm awake.
Cool.
So I agree with that term. Yes.
I disagree.
Oh, I know.
But I never said I'm enlightened. You can go listen to any of my videos, any hangout I've ever been in. I've never said that. That's Rob's term, which I respect Rob. So if he wants to say that, fine, be it. But
Yeah,
I
that's
consider
fine.
myself.
But Rose is a new voice to me, so I was curious as to her stance on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I'm right. I'm right.
Rob, maybe you have a little bit of an ego going on, Rob.
No.
Well, the thing is that the definition of ego he uses isn't the standard one used in, well, the rest of society, quite honestly.
No, of course not. I'm joking. I'm pulling his leg. But yeah.
Yeah, and in that sense, it causes me a little bit of confusion in that if you're trying to communicate something, why wouldn't you want to use words in ways that people know them?
But they're fucking wrong. That's why.
Well, here's the thing: is in terms of how language works. Normally, the one person that isn't in agreement with, the dictionaries and the textbooks and what have you is usually the one that's regarded as wrong.
Sorry, say that again. I'll respond to that.
I said typically it's the person who is not in agreement with the textbooks and with how everyone else uses a word that would be regarded as being wrong.
Okay.
Traditionally.
Yeah, and I accept that traditional view, but there still remains one truth. So how can I address that appropriately? Okay.
Well, if I can give you an example of one such instance, there was an occasion a while ago that a user on here known as Bionic Dance, which you may or may not have heard of, was basically arguing that all rocks are indeed atheists, and we had to explain to her that that's kind of a pointless thing to say, and it's kind of dumb, and we went back and forth, but she was trying to use the word differently than everyone else does. And that's really where the conflict came in, was the misunderstood word in this particular instance.
So it wasn't that she was wrong, it was she just chose the wrong word.
Well, she was using the word wrongly. Because the thing is, if you're going to use it that way, then every cell of every believer is technically an atheist because it doesn't independently have a God belief, and that just, at that point, it becomes meaningless. She was actually using the word in such a way that it became meaningless to anyone else trying to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of problematic when you're trying to communicate things to people.
Now,
I agree.
I hate fucking logic, and I hate bloody rhetoric.
I hate logic.
but enlightenment must come to a decision through logic.
No, hang on. I'll explain.
You hate logic. I want to hear this one.
Yeah.
Please.
Right. Now, right. So there was a guy called Descartes, right? Back in, what was it, 1700 or something like that. He came up
René Descartes, I think, therefore I am, yes.
Yeah, that's right. I think, therefore I am. And it seems that most of the modern world fucking believe that that's actually a true statement. It's not. It's absolutely fundamentally wrong.
I'm sorry, do you understand what the statement indicates?
Yes, I do. Or I think I do. I'll try and.
Well, could you explain that to me, please? Because I just want to make sure that you're clear as to what he was intending to say.
Absolutely. And see, this is where we get into trouble with semantics. And this could be a long conversation, but I promise you I can give you an explicit explanation for every single fucking point that I go through.
Would you like me to?
No, I do. So at least my concept gets to the table. Taylor coming in and out. Welcome back, Taylor. Yeah. What that concept's based on is based on the concept that the thought or the thinking will accurately report on reality, basically. I think, therefore...
That's actually not what he was trying to indicate. What he was trying to state is that he can know that he exists based upon the experience of his own thoughts. That's all.
Yeah.
What? Taylor's back.
That's the same thing. The fact that...
Well, not really. It has nothing to do with the experience of reality. It's merely that he experiences his own thoughts internally, and since he knows that he thinks, he knows that he exists. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, okay, and I agree with that.
That's all.
Semantics, right? Now, that's fucking fundamentally wrong. How we know that we exist is through our senses, and that's the only way we actually 100% reliably. The brain is capable of hallucinations and misreporting and error and holding errors in it, so it's not the great arbiter at all.
Rob.
Last thing you want to use. Hang on.
Rob.
So,
Hang on.
hang on. And here, this is actually how things work. So, all right. So,
Is he suffering from Tourette's again?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, no, not Tourette's, not the seizure. Are you sure?
From frustration from time to time, because you got to look at it from his perspective. He has a creative expression.
I don't even know whatever you said. I don't even know whatever you said. I was joking. I'm sorry.
Go.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
He only mucking around. And some, there's just so much going on that you got to be careful not to miss it. You might miss
I
it.
feel like I'm the only one who cares about the show, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm starting to feel like I can't hear what Rob's saying, so we're fair though.
I feel that way.
Look, we're at the intellectual part of the show.
I agree with Shadow Man.
The viewers have come for the philosophical section. Come on.
Fuck philosophical shit.
I'm not trying to get overly philosophical. That's not necessarily the goal.
Overly philosophical. That gets boring.
Okay.
You know what? There's a lot of people out there worldwide that want entertainment, pure entertainment.
Right.
It's fun shit sometimes.
I want to hear why.
Okay, I'll put on a puppet show for you, Luke. Will it make you happy?
Puppet show.
Okay, I will go get some puppets.
I wanted to hear why he didn't like logic. He hates logic.
Talk about the boring life.
Okay, here we go. We'll get the puppets out to entertain Luke. Okay,
All right, Luke.
cameras.
Well, I don't want to bore you, Luke, so forget about logic.
No. I want to hear why he doesn't believe in logic, because to be honest, it's actually, it's going to be actually really good.
There's the puppet. Hey, there's the puppet.
Puppets.
There's the puppets. That was cool. Look, the puppet show.
Yeah, come on. Little Lucky.
Hi, Luke. How are you?
I'm just wondering why he has puppets.
Actually, because of the power of Wu, I actually use puppets as secondary actors in the shows.
Oh, cool.
That way, I can do the different voices for him and this and that, and it breaks the monotony of me just sitting there talking at the screen.
I think Luke likes it.
I mean, I don't know why you diss puppets all the time if you're working with puppets.
Arg. There we go.
Like me dissing pizza.
You work with pizza all the time? Are you a pizza delivery guy?
I'm a pizza delivery guy. I'm a pizza delivery guy. I got a DUI, so I can't drive, so I can't be a pizza delivery guy.
All right, now, quick. Now,
Hang
on, Luke. Let me finish. Right. So,
tell it like it is, motherfucking Robbie.
reality, truth, single truth, singular truth, only one truth. Right. So, you'd accept, dude, that. What your name, dude?
Dropping stuff. Sorry.
Puppet man. So you'd accept. Do you accept the concept of now as the only real accurate report, or only accurate time? There's only ever the now.
Well,
Sorry, I'm looking at the puppet now.
If you're talking about now in terms of the time frame in which we live in, that we can't escape the now, and we're always technically living here and now, and once we move into the future, the past is gone because we've never technically been there. It's just that is a former state of now, not necessarily like something that we can go back to or what have you. Same with the future. The future moves forward in infinite states of now.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And it's only in that now, and this is a simple concept to understand, that we actually use our senses, Luke, just talking to you. We use our senses, right, to suck data in from the real world. Yeah?
No, yeah, at a delay of, I think it's half a nanosecond or something like that, yeah. There's actually a slight delay between when it's actually hits the eyes and when it's processed, etc.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's right. That time delay is important.
So what we're actually experiencing cognitively isn't technically the now that's happening around us. There is a slight delay in the processing of the brain.
Yeah, but we don't have to worry about that. We just have to be mindful that there's a separation between senses and brain, you know, and that's the only thing I'm interested in. The fact that there is a real time delay between that, so it actually separates them. So the sensing organs, by design, are just data collectors. That's it. Agree?
Well, I mean, reframe it, because I'm not sure that you're communicating what I think you are.
Okay. There's variation across population, things like colour blindness and whatever. But
Yeah, we discussed that the other day.
Yeah, okay, good. You can discount them as a problem. You still get an absolute result, and the sensors keep doing what they do repeatedly, and that's the feed of data coming into the brain from all the sensors in a given moment of time, and then that just repeats over time. What I'm saying is that's absolute. That whole context is absolute in terms that it's all completely knowable. The variations completely knowable. That is the place that we experience our environment, and this is the place that we get information coming into the brain. Now it's a pure, accurate read on the environment at that point in time, and the environment is absolute. But the environment has a context, right? So it's not just the data collection of all of the aspects of the sense. There is a context within that load of data coming on board.
Can you rein it in and try again, please?
Okay. Fucking hell, it's pretty simple.
Are you trying to say that we see with our eyes, ears, noses, not this kind of thing? Are you talking about all of our senses come in?
Yeah, I'm talking about the complete
Then what?
collection of senses, right?
Okay. Well, the collection of senses are processed in different parts of the brain, mind you.
Oh no, that's okay. We don't have to worry about that abstraction. It's still true to say that from the perspective of now, this group of senses, right?
Well, group of senses is brought in, yes, but there is of course variance between them, from person to person, etc., etc. And each sense is also limited.
Hold it. We have to do this step by step. So you said, because what happens, and this ruins discourse, you make a statement and as if it's actually true, and this is where you'd sort of lose me. So you're saying that there's variation between what?
Yes.
What is it?
From individual to individual.
Example?
It's as simple as the number of rods and cones in the eye.
Okay, but for each individual, that particular variation is scientifically knowable. And
yes.
Yes, but wait a minute. But within the context of the individual, it's still a constant reality.
Are you talking about the persistence of reality here?
What's that, sorry?
Are you talking about the persistence of reality when you say that?
No, I don't know what you mean by that. So, and that.
But reality seems to be consistent as we're observing it.
Oh, okay. It's absolute. Reality is absolutely absolute.
Okay, when you're talking about reality, you're talking about the sensory input? Or what the sensory input is perceiving?
No, specifically at this stage, because we haven't traveled to the brain yet, at the sensory level, everything's absolute because senses don't vary. They don't.
But they do on individual to individual.
Yes,
simply, if you go just with visual input.
Wait a minute. Don't get on your high horse. Let's keep working.
I'm not getting on a high horse. I'm trying to explain. I'm just trying to say that everyone has a different number of rods and cones in their eyes, and this will subtly affect the hues and colors.
Wait a minute. You're doing a mistake, right? What you're doing is that you're imposing your beliefs upon my premise.
I'm actually imposing biology on your premise.
Well, let's do it at each stage, right? Don't broadcast. So what your position at the moment is, you'll learn something from this, mate. You'll learn a fantastic way to conduct a discourse, right?
It'd be interesting if you might, but continue.
You're not butthurt already, are you?
No, you don't understand. Every single person has a slightly different
Hold it.
shape
Hold it.
eye.
Hold it.
They have a
Hold it.
slightly different number of
Hold it.
rods and
Hold it.
cones.
Hold it. I understand that. So we could use as our example of variation color blindness, couldn't we?
Hang on, though. We're not even getting to color blindness, and we're getting to something that's much more fundamental than that. The
No.
differences in the rods and cones has been shown that it will actually read the colors slightly different, sometimes brighter, sometimes darker, sometimes more blue, sometimes more green.
Hold it. Hold it. So good. I like this discussion, right? I really do. But so yes, between person A and person B, right? We have a different outcome, if you like. You know, the sensing reporting is different because of
The sense reporting is slightly different, yes.
Now, we can scientifically determine, because that's how we know that this variation occurs. We're still in the realm of absolute knowledge, but for each, hang on, wait, you got to work with me on this one, right? Just wait 1 second.
Are you sure you're using absolute?
Wait, cognitive dissonance alert. Your behaviors are telling me that this is confronting to you, which means to me that no, hang on. This is important, right? Really important stuff.
I'm trying not to smash my head.
I understand.
Well, you're conflicting with your ideas, but stay with it. So, come on, Rose. You can do it. So, what you said, and this is a really, really important part, and that's why I know that you're cognitive dissonance, because we're right at the cusp of it. So, from person A to person B, we've identified a variation, which is scientifically validated.
Yes.
Meaning that we can actually 100% explain the variation. So we're still in the realm of science and knowledge.
Yes. I agree with you up to that point, yes.
Wait. This
Okay, I won't agree with you.
This is the key point, right? Because we agreed to that point. Right. What we can then say, though, further, is that person A, the sensory stream of data coming on board for that person, will still remain a constant report over time and across population, right? Now, person B, it does like it's painting the picture blue instead of red, but it's always blue, red, or whatever. It's still constant.
It's still consistent, yes.
Yes, that's right. So, what I'm trying to say is that at the sensory level, using science and reporting of variation, for the individual, we always get consistent outcomes of that sensory organ. We therefore get a consistent feed of data to the brain.
Yeah. Right? Where's your absolute coming in? That's where the problems we're running into is.
Well, the reality is a constant. Do you agree? Across population, it never changed. At a given point in time, you put people in a certain place on the planet, right? They'll all see exactly the same thing.
Well, within the parameters of their sensory organs, yes.
Yeah, what I'm saying is true. So that, and from the concept of the now, right? Where you've got a minute time slice, right? There's no room for alternate. It's just what is in the environment, and that gets passed up to the brain. So it's an absolute reality that's being continually fed through. Yeah.
That's where we have our problem there.
Good. Okay, let's talk about it.
Not because what you're presenting is that the sensory input across the entire population is absolute when there's variance between each. And you can't state it's absolute when it's not actually the same between each.
Hang on.
Unless you're using a different meaning of absolute.
No. Right. The external reality is absolute.
I'm okay with that.
Yep, I know. I know. The sensing organ, right, for an individual constantly does the same thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We know there's variations, etc. We don't give a fuck about that. Now, So what happens is that the data that's coming into every individual on the planet is constant for that individual. Hang on, that's not correct.
How does this get you to absolute is really the question.
How is this being logic?
Oh no, I'm getting
Stating logic.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
You, why do you have to explain logic to? Okay. Rob, you always go the long road.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
no,
if I may,
Yeah,
if I may, right quick,
Yeah.
the problem that I'm running into is that you're using this term absolute, that the sensory input, that the input that we're receiving is absolute. What we're perceiving might be absolute, but once it comes in to the sensory organs, it's going to vary from individual to individual. And yes, we can test these differences, but those differences show that that input in and of itself is not absolute. I mean, so you're talking relativistic to the individual.
No. Oh yeah, sorry, granted. So I think you just got to stretch your little brain boxes a bit, but I now know that I'm fucking 100% right, and this is the value we have from these discussions. Now, I've just got to try and get you to see what I see.
I'm trying to no. What I'm trying to understand is what you're trying to convey.
Rob, just real quick, you're still presenting to people, so only people can see your beautiful
That might be
avatar.
safe, actually. That might be safer that way.
What's that? What can I say?
It may be safer that way if he's just presenting himself.
Oh, okay. Forget it then.
Yeah, it's just in case someone comes in to pawn bomb us, and I don't care about that logo. I want.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Well, what's his name? 5 diplomas. He mentioned it in the side chat.
Well,
That's all.
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob, yes, because people want to see other people.
Tell him to F off. Sorry? What?
Hmm?
I was just asking Rose to tell what to F off.
You know what, Rob?
You
I can't even remember the name of her, man. I was going to wait till the end of the show to say this, but I'm going to say it right now. You know what?
What?
As far as I'm concerned, worldwide, everyone listening right now, I'm telling you right here, worldwide, you could take this show and you could shove it.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Any leaves with that?
Hey, what's up?
Truly the words of enlightenment.
Oh, no, he's enlightened. But there'll be, he'll be probably...
Oh, hang on, I think I'm going to make myself enlightened now. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
oh, hang on, here we go. There we go. Now I'm enlightened.
And then there was light.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm enlightened, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's try and see if we can rack it up, because it's pretty simple. When you see it and you understand and say, right, that is actually how things work, you know, you say, fuck, simple. Right, so we've got an external environment that's constant from the perspective of the now. All right, each now, things change, but at that point of now, it's absolute and it's constant. The data collectors, right, all right, granted there's variation, but right, it's still constantly the same stream coming through all the time. So there's no error yet, none whatsoever.
Well, there actually are errors.
Okay, explain.
Well, science has actually shown that a lot of the information that we take in isn't actually processed.
Oh, that's okay, because there are things like spectrum, range...
Well, also, as a result of that, a lot of the information is filled in. For example, I did mention the other day when I was talking to you after I had the stroke, for example, I learned that there's this little blind spot that we have right about here. And that's basically auto-filled, much like you would in like paint shop or something like this. Now, after my stroke, that spot was about yay big, and I didn't even see cars coming because my brain was auto-filling the street. So you can't say that it's, absolute or it's necessarily accurate. Because it's a matter of the devices that you're receiving it with and the processing ability.
You're broadcasting a position without evidence or without defeating my position. So what we're trying to do is validate...
I'm sorry. What do you mean not presenting evidence?
Well, you broadcast a position...
I gave you an actual real-world example.
Yes, but you broadcast it as if it's a given.
But it's true, we do have a blind spot right here that's auto-filled by the mind.
Yeah, but that doesn't break the idea of within the range of function, it's still a constant thing that the senses do for an individual.
And that's not what we're countering on. The question is that you're saying that this information that we're getting is absolute. And what do you even mean by that in that context?
Yeah, no, it is absolute. It's absolute and it's consistent, right? So again, I'll try again.
Are you talking on an individual basis or on a population basis when you say that, though? Because each person is going to be perceiving things differently. When I say perceiving, I'm not talking.
Careful. Perception.
I'm talking about the sensory organs when I'm saying perceiving.
I feel like Rob's trying to say the outside, like the environmental, is absolute and constant.
And that I agree with, but he's actually talking about the input, and that's where the disagreement is.
Yeah, no, but that's okay. What I'm saying, though, for any given individual, the data collection by the sensor, you've got all sorts of anomalies, but it's a consistent behaving device. It brings in information from the environment and collects it very consistently. Same thing all the freaking time.
Yes.
Yes. Great. Good. Maybe we'll stay with the individual and then we'll work backwards for any outliers that you're worried about.
Well, like I said, I think it's that word once you start getting to that absolute. I mean, I'm wondering if you're using absolute in a different way than everyone else, kind of like you use ego different than other people.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I understand now what you mean by that. Yeah, I am. It's absolute. So from the perspective of the external environment's absolute. From the perspective of a given data collection moment called the now, that's absolute. For the individual, the senses perform the same way, day in, day out, and all they do is collect data. And then they push it up into the brain, or, it comes into the brain. Perception occurs in the brain. It doesn't occur in the senses because they're not designed to do anything other than collect data from the environment.
Well, it's kind of a handshake between the two, but that's kind of nitpicking, I suppose.
Yeah, it's nitpicking, so don't worry about it. So here's the thing, right? But also, the external reality has a context. It just does, right? That information comes on board as well.
The context meaning...
What's happening, you
Oh, okay. So, okay, I got you. I think I got you, okay.
Whatever,
Or I think I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Kissing, someone's going for a walk with the dog. The fire engine goes by.
That's fine. It's just an unconventional use of context. I know what you mean now.
Yeah, okay. So we've got the data and we've got the concept, and we collect it accurately, right? So it's an accurate representation of reality.
Not necessarily. This is where you go to how well those the eyes, nose, etc. are functioning.
No.
If I can give you an example from color.
Hang on. Within an individual, right, the performance criteria or the range for the senses is fixed from an individual's perspective.
Did you know that in China they weren't able to see the color green until they were introduced to it as a concept?
Yeah, but that's still okay. But that means that that's a range issue, right? But
actually, they found that they needed a word for it to be able to start differentiating it from other colors.
Yeah, but
it needed to actually have definition first in the mind prior to being able to be perceived by the eyes.
Oh, well, I don't care about that. I mean, I'd like to think about that and prove the ultimate thing.
Contradicts what you're saying, but okay.
Yeah, but we're going off on a tangent. Let's sort of progress a bit and let's get the concept on board, and maybe that will be more
tangent when I'm indicating something that goes against your premise. Okay, whatever.
No, we'll come back to it, I promise you, but I just want to make some progress. Okay, because I want to give you this concept of the full picture. We're nearly there, right? So what we've got is we've got data streaming in with context in it. It comes in through these sensors, and it's then passed to the brain. On the way in on the journey, it comes under the notice of the self-survival instinct, right? Yeah, it does. That's reality. Now, the self-survival instinct, what it does, it's got certain criteria that it functions on to look after the self. And what it does, it'll change the data, right? It creates
actually, that'd be post-processing. Initially, there's pre-processing right after the input comes in.
Yeah.
So you're talking the post-processing after it hits the cognitive part, or the actual sensory input itself when it's initially processed?
Wouldn't have a clue. but this works. And you know, I mean, if I could sit with someone that's fucking versed in that, we could work it out together. We could probably get to that detail, but I don't need it, right? So you've got two aspects of the data coming on board. You've got the external context, and you've got this survival instinct that can interfere with it. Now, if the survival instinct doesn't interfere with it, we get a pure collection of reality. That is truth. Right there. Truth is reality. However, if the
So you're basically talking about the notion of bringing in all your sensory input without it actually being processed through any kind of cognitive functions.
Yeah, not worrying about that at all. Just don't care.
Is that what you're referencing or not, or do you not even know the terms I'm using?
Don't even know the terms you use.
Okay, when you're initially trying to look at something,
Don't want to know. Don't want to know.
Hang on a second. You're enlightened, but you don't want to understand what. Okay, whatever.
No, but I'm actually interested, though. I just want to finish this discussion, because by engaging you on those details,
it's kind of integral to the discussion, though.
No, it's not. No, I'm fine. We'll still do it, but you've got to do things in an appropriate order. Otherwise, it fucking gets blown out of the water. It's really valuable, that discussion, because what it does is it allows me to further firm up my position. But I just know that it works in terms of behavioural, you know, everyone's fucking behaviours. That's why I'm able to read behaviours and all the rest of it. Anyway, so we've got this pure set of data. It's an accurate representation. And as long as it's not interfered by this self-survival instinct, you know, we hold truth. Absolute truth. If it interferes, this is the birth of ego, and birth of ego and lies. If this instinct interferes, it creates a false representation. So now we've got an error of reality, and it stores that in memory, but it also has the true state. So it has both false and true, because remember, true state came on board. Okay? No,
That's also incorrect in terms of neuroscience.
Well, I don't fucking care about that. Just let me finish.
I have a question relating to this topic.
Yeah.
Okay, if everyone's perception of reality is different depending on how your brain works, then is there actually a true, an absolute perception of reality?
Yeah, and it's what I'm saying.
According to neuroscience, no.
No, yeah, well, bugger them, they're wrong. So what it is, the absolute is when there's no interference by the survival instinct of the self. That's the cause of all error. That's the absolute cause. So we have this survival instinct that looks after the self. That's its job. And if it spots something about the context of the data coming on board, it will react to that, and it will then create a new version of reality.
No,
this works.
Neuroscience says otherwise, but okay.
No, this works perfectly in terms of people's behaviours. And I can explain the bullying context perfectly, right?
You can say it works in terms of behavior, but it doesn't work in terms of the way that the mind and the sensory organs actually work. It doesn't work in relation to neuroscience.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm interested in that discussion, but I'd rather just finish my presentation of the concept, and then maybe on another session we actually dig into it and try and fucking work out, can we map this idea back to the physiology underneath. So I'm really, really interested, I promise you.
Well, if I can pose you one question, though. If it could turn out that there was no way to map your concept to actual neuroscience, what we actually know about how the brain, the sensory organs, etc. work, would you reconsider your position?
No. No, I guess, if you give me evidence, you've got to live with the truth, right? And it might adjust it, but it works perfectly, right? You should watch some of my tapes, how I analyse the bully group, right? And just watch how much detail I'm able to fucking point out just by a couple of words and things. And it's all because of knowing this. See ya. Yeah. So, hey, Rose Patton. I thought you ran away with cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, I think she just fell out of the call.
Yeah.
It tends to happen.
So, do you know Rose at all, Shadow?
No. First time I've met her is tonight.
She's an impressive lady, isn't she?
She said some interesting things.
Yeah, well.
But it takes a bit to impress me, quite frankly.
Ah, okay.
Just not easily impressed.
Yeah. Well, maybe by the time you and I do this exercise on, you know, mapping my position statement to your position statement, you know, you may have a whole view. Here's the thing, dude, right? What this approach does, if it's correct, it brings morality down to a binary state.
I do appreciate you putting an if in there, by the way.
Well, I know it does. That was just for you. Okay, so I just want to see if we can finish this. So where we got to? So, right, the cause of all erroneous thinking, every single one, is this self-survival instinct. That's a really powerful concept if it actually holds to be true. Hey, I'm seeing double. Hello, Rose. Welcome back. There's two Roses. Which one's the real
Probably
Rose?
opened hang out another tab and just trying to get connection from that.
Yeah, either that or just a lot of time when you join and you don't successfully join. A lot of time when you try to join a hangout and it doesn't actually log you in successfully.
Yeah.
It'll keep a
It
ghost.
froze on me. Yeah, it froze on me, so I just shut it down. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I responded quick enough either, Rose, to take you out of hide.
No, it's fine. It just froze up on me, so there. The ghost is gone.
Ecclesiastes 1:1 comes to mind in terms of this discussion, but you may continue.
So the question that Taylor asked before I got froze on, what did you say about perception?
Yeah, ask it again. Probably.
Hold on.
I was asking because Shadow was talking about the variations and of how we perceive reality. If there's as you know, people, if there's an actual absolute perception of reality.
Yeah.
From people or on a spiritual sense?
Just from like
I
from
believe it's a
realistic.
biological question, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well then
no.
I would say we all perceive, I don't think there's an absolute of our human perception, but on a spiritual level, I think that there is absolute perception. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what your beliefs are, but like say if you believe in a whole, someone that's the creator, so then that creator would have the absolute perception. Whereas
that's still external of the self, though.
Yeah.
Well, we all have individual perceptions. Like Rob is never going to see eye to eye with me. I've never lived Rob's life. I don't perceive life as like you. Why are you just cutting me off, dude? Okay.
Because
I'm so done. Oh my God, Rob, you're not the only one right. You got to stop cutting people off. It's rude. I don't. Come on. Be nice.
I mean.
But I can save you a lot of heartache and
No, Rob, you always have the answers for everything.
I know. What can I say?
Oh my Lord, have mercy. Go ahead, Taylor.
Okay, all right. I just want to say things because I'm trying to address your comment, Rose, and acknowledge it, and I'd like to respect Taylor.
Taylor's not even done. Hold on, Taylor hasn't even talked. She's been quiet, or he's been quiet the whole time.
I got Taylor's question, so I think I can answer, and then she can back it up with a question.
Oh my God, Rob.
I'm trying to talk over everybody, and that's not really a good way to be in a discussion.
Don't care.
Well, I subscribe to everybody on the panel, and hopefully you guys can come into my hangout sometime. And Rob does it his way. You know, it's his room, but.
That's right. Rob's house, Rob's rules. All right. Now, and Taylor, by no means am I wanting to disrespect you. I just want to put out something to think about, and then let's talk about it, right? So, because it's important, right, particularly as a young person. See, Jesus said, now I like Jesus, but I'm not a Christian. Jesus said, seek until you find. So it's important for each human to find their truth, the truth. Well, I say the truth.
So are we talking about a spirit, like in a sense, of spirituality now?
No, not really. I can express it because the truth is the truth is the truth is the truth. Spirituality just aims to describe the truth, right? So that's the connection. But what's really important is just the truth, the truth. And the Jesus I know taught the truth. Now, so what? So Taylor, just say your question again quickly. Just only a couple of words will do.
I believe Shadow already answered my question. I was asking just on a biological sense, is there a true perception of reality and absolute or constant?
Got it. Okay, so the answer to that question is absolutely yes, in a spiritual context and a biological context.
Well, not in a biological context with what Shadow said, because there's variations in each person.
Yeah,
That's right.
science.
That's
otherwise,
right.
yeah.
No, he didn't break the condition that I was, or he didn't present anything to break what I said. So what I said was the environment, reality, right, the world, the cups, the teas, the plates, the tallies, you know, the voices, the sounds, that's in a given moment of time, that's absolutely constant, and that's what the sensors do, right, per individual. They pull that data in a very constantly consistent way, right? There might be variations, you know, colour blindness and the like across population, but for an individual, their sensors function exactly the same way, and we can manage. Yeah, hang on, just hang on. We attack stuff in a minute, right? So that information comes on board. And it has a context, which means that it has some knowledge about what's going on in the environment. That comes on board, and as it comes in...
Wait. Sorry, you said it has knowledge. What do you mean by it? Can you...
God. No, I'm joking. It's just... I'm joking.
Your senses have knowledge? Is that what you're saying, or...?
No. All sensors are data collectors, right?
Yeah, I know. You're just vague there. You lost me on that one term there. Just kind of wait a minute.
Appreciate. Because my book title is "What is this thing called God?" So I acknowledge, you know, that there is a concept that we need to understand, and I can explain explicitly what it is, and that gives respect to the religious position. Okay, Rose. Thank you for dropping by.
Good night, Rose.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Nice to meet everyone.
Yeah.
Take care.
Nice to meet you.
Now, there may have been a little cognitive dissonance there.
I don't think so. I think she just had to call it a night. People get tired.
Mate, no. This cognitive dissonance function is very acutely aware of threats to its beliefs. And this is why I hate beliefs, because beliefs are what? Errors in mind. Right, so we've got this data coming in out of the environment, right? So it's absolute. We've got the collector, it's absolute. So the data that's coming in, right, from the individual's perspective is absolute. That is the truth. That is what truth is. That is specifically what it is. But when this survival instinct that's designed to protect the self or preserve the self interferes with the data coming in, it creates erroneous sets of information that do not match reality, and those erroneous sets of is the birth of what we call ego. Ego is specifically the collection of the errors or erroneous bits of information. They also, because of the nature of this way this works, they also are accompanied by the truth. So if someone...
no, actually, they wouldn't be based upon your own hypothesis.
Okay, go ahead.
I can explain to you exactly why. Now, when you are looking at something, there isn't one part of your brain that scene goes to. It's processed in different levels of the brain. The textures are processed in one area. The colors are processed in a different area. The shadow and light are processed in a different area. This doesn't pipe directly into the brain. It's processed all throughout the brain. So it's going to have to go through a perceptual filter anyway around it. It goes through that part of your mind that you're talking about to be corrupted.
Hang
because
on.
it doesn't go straight in. It's not a pipeline going in, man.
Oh,
It
yeah, but
goes in and gets separated into these different things, and then it gets dissected,
yeah,
analyzed, and reassembled.
understand. What
Okay.
you're doing again, though, is you're diving into the deeper level
Neuroscience.
of yeah, exactly.
Shadow.
Just, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so if our reality is perceived through our brain, through it being the information being dissected, then would you say that each individual has a different perception of reality because of the variations, or
Subtly
does it go by
different, yes.
population?
No,
Subtly different. The thing is, in terms of neuroscience, there are subtle differences. Now, in terms of anyone that ever all their, I just want to answer the question as it was asked. If
Yeah,
you
but it was
don't.
a mistake. It's wrong.
And not according to neuroscience, it isn't.
Bugger them. They're wrong.
Yes, bugger neuroscience. But if we're quite worrying about how the mind works in relation to neuroscience, then it's kind of a valid question.
Okay, I think it's an important point though to make, because let's keep it still up at the the fluffy side of it before we get down.
Is your concern that the neurology of it doesn't agree with your conclusions?
Oh no, not at all. I'd love to actually.
Then why do you seem to feel threatened by me answering the question?
No, I'm not. What you said though.
Are you sure there isn't some cognitive dissonance there? Is that the ego speaking?
No. Nice try, kiddo. And this is what happens. This is why I sort of insist in breaks in conversation when I spot an error. Because
the problem is when a young person asks me an honest question, I like to give an honest answer. It is a personal policy of mine.
But from my side, I want to make sure that person gets the right story, and yours was wrong. Sorry, go ahead.
Rob, I think if you have a disagreement with how Shadow's presenting his point, then you should wait till he's done and then try to dissect his points and what you think is wrong and why you're coming to the conclusions you are.
That's a good comment. I respect it, but no. Because I just can't operate that way. Sorry. I have to pick up the error at the point of things. So now, Shadow, if I could, see, we have to, it's just laborious. We have to go backwards and forwards. I like to pick up the error at the point of statement. But, you know, I don't want to stop you making your presentation. I just want to say, hang on a minute, there's a counter position on the point that you're making. And I do that because I'm trying to respect Taylor. I want to make sure that she gets both sides of the story, because getting to the truth is actually the thing that leads to enlightenment. So it's a very important thing. So what I need to ask you, Taylor, Shadow, if I could you just make that point again? And then when I find the thing that's contentious for me, I just want to express my side of it so that she gets both sides of the information.
When you're processing the sensory input from the outside world, it's all processed in different parts of the brain, especially when it comes to things like vision, that all the different aspects. You're not looking at something and saying, here's, you know, Bob standing there. When you look at Bob, you're seeing the color of his clothing, you're seeing the texture of the clothing, you're seeing the different hues in terms of light and dark. And all these different things are processed in separate parts of the brain. And after they're processed, then they're brought into the cognitive center of the brain. And that's where it generates the final image, so to speak, that you're actually perceiving. So it has to go through all these bells and whistles and whirs and what have you to actually come to the final outcome. But from that, though, there's a certain baseline of operations that most people's senses operate under. So if you're looking at blue, the blue you're looking at might not necessarily be the exact same blue somebody else is, but it's still going to most likely be a blue. Now, there's also a linguistic element as well, because if, for example, in the case of, I believe it was China, prior to us going there and introducing them to the idea of the color, I think it was green, it might have been blue, they weren't able to actually physically perceive that color until they were introduced to the concept of it, which shows that concepts actually have a very strong influence on how we perceive things.
Okay, so that last bit, so the concepts have how we perceive things. That's all okay, I think. Yeah, because concept, yeah, okay. So, that's okay. I didn't have any problem with that, but there was something you said the first time that, you know, jumped out at me, and I've missed it. But anyway, that's fine. Okay.
It might have resolved itself if I kept talking, I don't know.
Well, it can be, because we can have discussions. Well, I don't think so. I think there's still an issue between you and I on how this all works, but...
Well, there is, because what you're indicating is that all this information comes in, and all the true information comes in, and then there's this part that intersects some of it, but that's not it. It all goes into these different areas, gets processed, and is in that processing area. All information, according to your hypothesis, would be corrupted at that point, because it doesn't get, some of it processed and some of it passed through. It all goes through and then gets processed.
Okay.
And by different areas of the brain, there's no way to actually have that persistence of reality without that post-processing.
Well, I still don't want to worry about that level at the moment. So, again, what I'm saying, because I caught that you perhaps didn't quite grasp my meaning. So, the data's coming on board. It passes by, think of it as a watchman or a doorkeeper. The self-survival strategy, right, which is really about looking after the individual, and it must notice something about that data, and it repurposes the data. And it creates a new story, right? So you might have on the reality black, right, but because this thing fires up, it says white, and white is what is stored as reality. But the truth is there as well, but suppressed, but the white becomes the reality now, and that is the fundamental thing that creates this thing called ego. So you get a stack of these errors, and that's exactly what ego is.
It's not how we work neurologically, though.
No, I understand, but, well, I don't understand, I'm interested in knowing that, but this works in terms...
Well, I've just explained in a nutshell, in a very quick rendition, how that works.
No, not yet. So that then is the fundamental basis of... So if that survival... So this is the key. If that survival instinct doesn't interfere, it's a pure feed on reality. So someone that's enlightened... So if someone that's actually in the enlightened state, they have truth all the time. It's a pure feed. There's no interference by this self-survival instinct at all. It's still there, right, in case you need it, but there's just zero interference, right? And it's simply that, right? So you either have truth or you have a lie. Truth or lie, only the two states. That's it. The path to enlightenment is reconciliation of false ideas about reality created by this notional, survival instinct. And that is the root of lies, it's the root of evil, it's the root of all harm that came to humanity. So in other words, if you could take that instinct out of humanity, which you wouldn't, because you still need it for other reasons, but if you could remove it, right, you would have a bunch of enlightened people on the planet. So that's probably good enough. That's sort of the helicopter view. Now, I use that principle, well, I just know it's true, right? But I also use it when I'm observing people and want to know who's doing what to whom and why they do it, what their agendas are. And, it looks like I'm a bit of a mind reader, but, it's just... and here's the other part, just to finish it, right? And then we could wrap this up. So this error state, right, this false idea about reality, so there's no match in reality, and it could be hybrid, so there could be components that are correct and minor components that aren't, but this false idea held in reality is the very thing that is the basis for cognitive dissonance. So what happens when the true state externally is represented, because the true state's held there, it automatically, and I've witnessed this, right, people just react like bloody lightning. They already knew. The true state recognises that this true state externally is a threat to the lie or the false state. That is what cognitive dissonance specifically is.
Well, if input was broken into true state and false state, there might actually be some basis for this, but there isn't. It doesn't work that way.
Say that again.
The input is merely input. There's no true state, false state involved.
Well, yes, there is. Because the data is constant with reality, that is actually the true state.
Actually, the data has to be processed before you have a consistent view of reality. You're not able to actually perceive reality other than through these senses, which are all processed through these very different nodes. It is actually brought into the same segment of the mind that you're saying would be corrupting it.
Hang on, let me hear that again. Okay, no, we're starting to get down into the detail. That's a better discussion for another day.
May I present another question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So Shadow, since you're taking the since you're talking more about neuroscience, I don't know. I really don't know how to ask this. So if everyone's perception of reality varies, then, like, for example, if there's like a tree in a field, how do we go from someone saying a tree to someone saying something totally different? Like,
Well, you're not normally going to see something totally different unless there's some kind of brain trauma or something's fundamentally wrong. For example, massive nearsightedness or farsightedness or what have you. There's going to be a lot more variance than there. But in general, there's a certain baseline that everyone's senses work on, and we're generally fairly close to that.
all right, because I guess what I was trying to say is that, like, how does everyone see fundamentally like the same thing?
No, it's because we're all using essentially the same sensory organs. There's just variance, and a lot of the variance doesn't make any real big significant difference. I mean, how much difference does it make if a tree's a little bit more brown to one person than the next?
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, a lot of the differences are, insignificant, but there's still slight differences. So saying something that is absolute, which has all that baggage with it, is where really the problem comes in. Because there is still that certain degree of subjective, because it has to go through there, it has to be processed. And honestly, different memories you have, different views you may have towards different things may affect this. Like with that instance with the color green or blue. It's just going to vary in terms of your perception of it after the processing. Now, what goes in prior to processing is going to be a lot more similar potentially than what comes out, because you have to go through language filters and perceptual filters and not the varied concepts that you hold and what have you. But that output, so to speak, is what you are perceiving, not the input. The input you don't directly perceive, just the output in terms of neurology.
Yeah, hang on a minute though. I've got a problem with that. Subjectivity.
Well, you have a problem with science then. Because what I'm saying is the pipeline that comes in, so to speak, isn't what you perceive. It has to be processed through the mind first.
We haven't sort of got into that level of discussion yet. So, and I really want to do it.
I don't think we're going to.
Eh?
I don't think we're ever going to.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Shadow is taking the route of explaining it through science and neuroscience, and Rob is taking the position of what he thinks is right and wrong. He's not really citing sources or saying where he's getting his ideas from.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, there's only one reality. But you're right. We're coming at it with different, from different, seemingly different perspectives, but we are observing and talking about the one reality. The reality still remains constant. But I just want to make a point before I forget. Absolutely, I'm going to use that word again. Absolutely all subjectivity is born out of this this self-survival instinct. There is no other context that creates subjective than this survival instinct. That is the birthplace, the birth canal. It's the thing that creates it. And I know that because when I relate to guys that are enlightened, we sort of have this, you get this sense that it's all coming from one mind. What that comes from is that we're all receiving the data from the environment, and because we have no active, it's still there, but it's just not interfering. This survival instinct for the self. There's no variation. That's why we sit very closely on song. And
what do you mean there's no variation? There is variation. We've already established that.
If there's no variation in the cell, then how do we have variations in how we perceive our reality?
Say again, sorry, Tyler.
He's talking about, you said like there's no variation in the cells, but how would that be if we have different variations of reality?
Yeah, with the variation, every variation that occurs, in our minds when we're reporting back on reality, right? Every variation, is based on that, or is caused by that self-survival instinct interfering with the reality data set.
Actually, it's biological in nature initially.
Um,
Because we're talking those subtle variations as the input is actually drawn in, as well as then further variations as it's being processed.
Not arguing with that. Not arguing with that. Yeah.
Okay, so are you going to add that particular portion of the variation into what you're talking about so that it's more cohesive?
Oh, okay. Sorry. So you said variation in the stream. No.
Well, we're talking about variation in terms of the variation in the sensory organs, which is going to vary the stream as you're putting it, as it's coming in.
No, you're still getting caught up on this idea of variation across population.
No, I'm talking about variation within sensory organs. The slight difference in the number of, as I said, the rods and cones in the eyes, things like this.
Yes, but from the perspective of the individual, right, it's still a permanently constant functioning organ, isn't it?
But that's after being filtered through perception. And you're saying it's the perception that's making it false.
No,
and
I don't talk about, wait a minute, I don't talk about perception at all yet. Not my turn, that's your turn.
Okay, you're too...
Hey, dude, how's your health?
What language are you talking, man?
No, Australian. How's your health?
Relatively fine.
Okay, good.
I could use some more coffee. My throat's a little dry.
Do you want to get some then? Or, look, hey, we can do this another day or not ever or whatever.
Perfectly fine, but...
Yeah. There was one other thing I wanted to say. So what I've done...
I mean, if you're having cognitive dissonance, that's fine.
Enlightened people don't have cognitive dissonance. That's impossibility because...
Well, it depends on how you viewed enlightenment, honestly.
No, wait a minute. This is a reality, and you can test me. You just can't do it to me. So I can put on all sorts of displays to suit a certain circumstance, but you cannot make me go cognitive dissonance. What is cognitive dissonance? Well...
Holding two contrary ideas at the same time.
No, that's actually a misnomer, and it's a fucking terrible one too, and I'll explain why.
That's the definition the rest of the world uses.
Yeah,
and this is where we run into that linguistic problem.
Rob's house, Rob's rules. So, right, remember we've spoken about the data coming on board and this survival instinct interfering, and it creates a false notional representation of reality. That gets stored in memory, and the person believes that to be the reality. That creates an inconsistency with real reality. This is the birth of lies, because the person has to lie to reconcile to reality. Now, so what I wanted
in what way? I mean, is this some weird spiritual thing you're talking about? Because we're not talking biology here.
I understand, but that's a discussion for another day. I'm trying to get out. I'm working hard to get out.
You've been trying to get it out for a while, man, and we've kind of heard you, but the problem is it's kind of wrong.
No, it's not, but you'll prove that at the biological level, won't you? Wrong.
Well, I'm talking... This is the thing is, well, actually, it can be shown at the biological level.
Yeah, but not today.
And it has been time and time again.
No.
We know how
shadows
work, man.
How Shadow's presenting it actually does make more sense to me because of he's taking the biological stance, and I am really confused if you're right now trying to take the biological stance of this, or if you're trying to say it's some form of
some spiritual, mysticy thing. That's a different matter. But when you're talking biology, this isn't how it's processed, man.
Cognitive dissonance. I think you're going cognitive dissonance.
No, this isn't cognitive dissonance unless you have a strange definition of it that I'm unaware of. But. Which I know you do, but I'm aware of the one that you gave me last time, at least.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that was, and it's a really important distinction from the classical definition, or the wrong one. The error state is the base, right? So it's always a false position that is the precursor to cognitive dissonance, nothing less.
Well, then in that case, I'm not suffering from cognitive dissonance. You are.
Beg your pardon?
Because you're incorrect as to how we actually process inputting incoming data.
No, hang on. There's behavioural measures that are consistently reported when someone goes cognitive dissonance. So what we've got is
Behavioral reporters like what, for example?
All right. Well, hang on. So you must have a false state, and the reason you have a false state in memory is because of that survival instinct. That's the way that works, right?
Well, are you stipulating that you must have a true state as well?
The true state is presented. There is a true state held in mind with the false state.
Must there be, in
Must
terms
there
of cognitive dissonance?
Yes, there must be.
That's
Now,
where I disagree with you. I don't think that either state need to be true.
Wait a minute. Externally, there's the truth presented again. The true state held in memory recognizes it as...
You can have two conflicting falsehoods, though.
Hang on, dude. No, you cannot. Ideologically, you might think that, but in reality, definitely not.
So if you're deciding between two seemingly conflicting things, one of them must be true, you're insisting?
Must be false. The first one must be false. The second one must be a matching true state. That's it. They're the only conditions that are the precursor to cognitive dissonance. When that event occurs, what follows is very repeatable. And I can repeat it time and time again with people, right? And if you watch the troll groups that have been bullying me, I can actually demonstrate it. I can sit you down and show you, right, they went cognitive dissonance, and I can tell you the behavioural patterns that are going to follow, and it's because of this structure.
Okay, the alien artichokes on Mars are purple. The alien artichokes on Mars are pink. Which one's the true statement?
I don't know. I don't care. Hang on.
This is the point.
That's
Neither
what the whole
one need to be
conversation
true.
is about.
Yeah.
Say again?
That's what that entire conversation was about.
No.
You can have two conflicting statements, and neither one must be true.
Yeah, I feel like Rob is trying to say that there's one side that's true and there's one side that's false, but if that were true, then what would be the point of having to process the data anyways and having variations?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, remember, we're in the land of reality now. We're not up in the clouds in notional Descartes land. What's come on board is data. It's been interfered specifically by the self-survival instinct. That's the store of the false memory. Hang on, that's the store of the false state. It also brings on board the true state at the same time. They're both held in memory. That's why someone says to you, "Oh, I forgot. I didn't lie," or that's all bullshit, right? So that's that. Then externally, the true state is brought into mind, right? Externally. So the true state that's held in mind recognizes the threat because it says, wow, that's an error. And now we have cognitive dissonance between the lie that was created by the self-survival instinct and the true state. And what happens then, we go into the flight-fight response, right? The flight-fight response is as follows. The fight is about aggressively, like spitting, a very bitchy, nasty, rude attack at the person that's holding the true state externally. The mind blanks out, or it blanks out data coming from that state that threatens the position. So it's filtering out the true state information. That's stage one. Stage two, there's a face-saving stage where the person tries to save their ass or their face from the bad behaviours they exhibited in the fight state. And then the final state is flight state, where they run away. Right? And that is exactly what cognitive dissonance is. Exactly. Anyway. And why it's powerful...
I'm curious about something. How do you think memory actually works? I'm just curious in terms of the mind.
Well, that's something you're going to teach me when we fucking get to that.
Well, I'm just wondering how you when you remember something, do you think we're just like pulling it out of an archive in our brain or something?
It's like a big bucket. That's
Well,
all right.
actually, in terms of neuroscience, what actually happens is that every time you remember something, it recreates it from scratch.
Oh,
It
okay.
actually refabricates it completely. So everything is being recreated. So everything would be going through that filter you're talking about every time you remember something.
No, I doubt it.
Every single time.
No, it makes no sense to me.
That's how
So
the
is
mind works, though.
so would that mean that every memory that like we have isn't really how it happened?
Actually, this is why we have a lot of things like false memory syndrome and this kind of stuff, is because it does recreate these memories. It's also why the further back you try to remember, the less vibrant they are and the harder it is to actually remember the fine details. When we remember something, we tend to not remember it exactly as it is. It calls on different parts of the brains that bring up different aspects of the memory and recreate it for us.
I don't know if I agree with that. I'd like to
It's
work on
part of why long-term memory is so unreliable. That and a lot of things that are just held in short-term memory never pass by. This is why, when they have the guy running into the room and pretend to rob somebody or whatever, people have such a hard time remembering what they were wearing because it wasn't persistent long enough for it to actually pass from short-term to long-term memory.
I don't know about that. I mean, I'd like to think about that. But to me, I don't care about that stuff because you live in the now sort of stuff. So that's the important thing. And your memory seems to work fine. I don't get caught up in that crap. If it doesn't have any contribution to the quality of life and enlightenment, I'm just not that fussed with it. But
Well, Shadow.
Okay, sorry.
I was gonna ask Shadow, like, then what's the case with people with like photographic memories that they can remember something exactly as it was if the brain has to recreate it?
It's still recreated, it just has a better level of accuracy. It's a slight difference in the functionality of the brain.
Yeah, but
and even then there still is variation.
Yeah, but if it's recreating it, isn't that still the same thing as, because it's got to recreate off the base, it's got to recreate off the source. Does that recreation process mean anything really significant?
Well, there is no source. That's the problem.
Well,
There really isn't a source memory. There isn't, this one bucket that it's stored in. It has to recreate it every time you have the memory.
How does it recreate it? How does that work?
Well, it pulls from all different parts of the mind. Once again, like with the colors, this and that, as well as the smell, senses. All these things have to be recreated every time.
Oh, okay.
It's just the way the mind works. A lot of our persistence of vision is actually somewhat illusionary as far as they can tell.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem so. Whether
It doesn't seem so, no, but that's simply the way the mind works.
No, I was just going to say that's fine, but it doesn't.
Actually, the persistence of observation is something that neuroscience has been trying to puzzle for years because it's so weird the way it doesn't seem to actually technically work in any one given place in the mind. It's so spread out there. Still trying to figure it out. It's fascinating.
Not for the fuck of me because it just works. So
because it disagrees with you, yes.
No, it's not that. I can't see the value proposition of pondering. It's sort of like.
You can't see the value of pondering science instead of your belief. Got it.
No, that particular. No, there's no beliefs here. It's all pure knowledge. It's true. That's why.
But what if it's pure knowledge and science says it's wrong?
Well, then.
Is it then still true?
Yes, you can't beat the enlightened state. That's the alpha state. So it means that science is wrong.
Shadow, I feel for your facepalm there.
But thank you. I think I might have dented my forehead, but thank you.
Hey Taylor, have I met you before at all?
I don't believe so.
Okay, you just seem somehow familiar. But I'm impressed by your maturity, so.
Well, I love watching things about science. I have my mother's college textbook on anatomy and psychology that I've read. I find disorders of the mind very fascinating. Actually, over my summer, I started studying about dissociative identity disorder.
Mm-hmm.
That was something I thought was just very interesting to learn about.
Yeah, it's a really neat one, especially when you start getting into all the secondary things that go along with it, like narcissistic personality disorder and all the others. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I've got a simpler and more accurate explanation than him. So, anyway, no, for you, Taylor, make sure you keep an open mind.
Just not open enough that it falls out, please.
Oh, I'm trying. I'm trying.
And so, of course, I'm sitting here thinking, you do look familiar. I'm wondering if back when I was trolled, you were one of the people that I threw out of the shuffle because I didn't know who you were. Hope not.
I really don't remember either of you. If
Sounds
I
good
have
then.
met you before.
All
Well, do
good then.
either
It
of you
was
know a
somebody
user?
with a resemblance then. Cool.
Well, do either of you know a user on the site called Green Soulsify?
Yeah, I do.
I know Sufi. Sufi's pretty cool.
Oh
No, he's
yeah, I've talked to him before.
evil bad man. He actually, I have an issue with Green.
I heard you almost made his brain cry last time you were in here. Last time he was in here, I heard that you actually caused him physical pain.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, look at my little logo there. You know my position on Islam. So immediately.
I think it actually had something to do with your interpretation of psychology.
Oh
if I recall.
yeah, it would. See, I think he's a behavioralist or something like that.
Yeah, he's a behavioral psychologist, I believe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have some very strong views on how that sort of stuff works, and I think that I'm extremely accurate in my read of, the behavioural views. Now, hey, that reminds me, that's one thing I didn't finish.
Well, can I just say something? In my opinion, and I think in all factuality that, science is not a view. It's logic and facts that we find out by doing tests, like running tests, and just what I mean through.
Yeah, get it.
Those are facts, not beliefs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I'm 100% behind that. I mean, one of the things when I was writing this book, What Is This Thing Called God, what I realised at the end, after finding who the real Jesus was that he actually was about knowledge, not beliefs at all. And I have a very strong opinion that says, as humans, we should never entertain any friggin' beliefs at all, ever. Right, ever. No beliefs.
Actually, real quick, just as a little frame of reference, Taylor, I don't know if you are of a religious mindset or not, but this is based upon the Gospel of Thomas, which is a Gnostic gospel.
Oh, I actually take the position of being an atheist because, I have actually watched videos and things, like if you know a user named Logic or Armored Skeptic.
I know them both. I know them both.
Oh my, yeah. I love their videos. And one thing I found interesting is that when I was a Christian and I did actually try to understand the Bible, the whole thing was, how do we actually know? And I could never find evidence of it. And I do
have a small problem with logic, though, I believe it is.
What's the problem?
Wait, no, it's not logic. No, sorry, I was thinking Mortimer. Never mind.
Yeah.
I've got a problem with Mortimer because Spirit Science does not talk about space Jews. He talks about time-traveling space Hebrews. There's a difference, apparently.
But one of my problems with Christianity is that Christianity is all about trying to say that there was a God and there was a Jesus. But the thing is, we don't know if there is or isn't. You can never prove that. Because it's spirituality, it's religion.
I know.
Well, you can know all you want, but empirically there's no way to actually prove it one way or the other.
Yes, I can.
Empirically?
If you can prove it one way or the other, then please enlighten us.
Hang on. Empirically? Do you double check the meaning of that word so you know what I'm saying, please?
Well, I think it's empirical. So there's two aspects.
That comes always free.
There's the historicity method. What is it? Multiple attestation. But on top of that, there's the teachings of the man and validating them as being.
Well, the things that people wrote down and claimed and attributed to him aren't necessary. You can't really use as proof, and we do know that most of the accounts of his life are, forgeries at best.
No. Hang on. So we're talking
most of
about
third-party accounts, that is.
Yeah, we're talking about a document that's dated by the early camp of 40 AD, and that's the Gospel of Thomas, or Gospel of Jesus.
It's not dated at 40. It is not dated at 40. Double check your dating.
Sorry, pardon me. I acknowledge that. 40.
Double check the dating.
40. No, hang on. 40 to 50 AD is the early camp, in scholarship. And
actually,
140. Don't use Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is actually becoming a more reliable site since I think they
know
put some kind of ban on people just
it is
mentioning
Taylor.
random stuff.
Yeah, it is Taylor. It's a really good source.
Oh, let's see.
I use it extensively. So it's so there's the early camp. Go to the composition or the dating. The early camp, which is 40 or 50 AD. Late,
Actually, it dates to the 1st century, not prior to it.
No. What are you looking at?
Looking at varied pages discussing actual scholars and what they've had to say about it. It's looking like here between 130 and let me get to the second half of the article here.
That's an apologetic?
Because it's cut off there. No, it's not. Actually.
Yes,
this is actually, let's see now, 30 to 130 to 1. Let me see if we can find it in the page here. F130, let me just do a find for it. There we go, between 130 and 250 CE.
Well, here's what this thing says, data composition. This comes from Richard Valentakis, whoever he is, writes, assigned a date to the Gospel of Thomas is very complex because it is difficult to know precisely to what a date is being assigned. Scholars have proposed a date as early as 40 AD or as late as 140 AD, depending upon whether the Gospel of Thomas is identified with the original core of sayings or with the author's publicized text, blah, 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 blah.
The 3 papyrus fragments of Thomas, known as the, I can't friggin' pronounce that fragments, date to between 130 and 250 CE.
Scholars, so this is the early camp, and this is quoting Robert E. Van Horst as the source. Most interpreters place its writings in the 2nd century, which is validates what you're saying, understanding that many of its oral traditions are much older. Scholars generally fall into one of 2 camps. Excuse me, an early camp favouring a date for the core of between the years 50 to 100. So that's where I misspoke when I said 40. It's actually 50 and somewhere ranging up to 100. Before or approximately contemporary with the composition of the canonical Gospels, and a late camp, so this is the other camp, favouring a date in the 2nd century after composition of the canonical Gospel.
It's a later Gospel. It's actually after, it's well after the Markian.
No. Now see
actually,
how you
spoke. After Luke as well.
See how you spoke then?
I wasn't speaking to you, actually. I was speaking as to, the preponderance of scholarship, not the outliers.
Okay.
Are we talking about the Bible here, like religious text?
Yeah, no. The Markian is considered to have priority by almost all scholars.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you want to see some cognitive dissonance? Real life? I'll demonstrate it through the whole process, right? You ready?
Actually, if I can say something about the Bible real quick, one thing I actually learned from watching Logic's videos on YouTube is that we translated the Bible from Hebrew, but from what I understand from it, and we cannot correctly translate that language because he used one thing in the Bible as an example, saying, it says, "Don't put gods before me." And in Hebrew, it translates to something different, like "Don't put a god's face by mine." So he was saying does he mean this in a literal sense, or does he mean it spiritually, like we wouldn't know?
Well, look, here's a question. Are you having in-depth questions pertaining to this kind of stuff and you'd like them properly explained, or?
What? Hold on.
Honest question.
Can you rephrase?
Are you looking for very proper scholarly answers to these questions?
I'm just trying to
I'd be more than happy to refer you to a couple of my resources on here.
Okay.
The first one that I'd recommend goes by Gretchen is a Squirrel on G+. She knows Aramaic and she's a great resource, and she's a wonderful lady. I'm sure she'd be willing to field some questions for you beyond what I know.
But she's got a bias, I know, Gretchen. Hey, can I just get the question again? Just see if I can't put an input, I won't. Can I have the question again, Taylor?
Oh, I really just meant how do we know that we're translating the Bible correctly?
translating.
Well, yeah. From what I
Okay.
understand, the Bible was translated from Hebrew, wasn't it?
I
Oh,
believe
okay.
actually it was the Bible itself was translated from a number of languages: Koine, Greek, Aramaic, etc. Hebrew itself, not so much. It was actually more the Aramaic influence.
Yeah. Sorry, Gohan. Yeah.
Koine
Well.
Greek's fun though.
Yeah.
Tempest Kitty. Oh wait, sorry.
Who said
Hundreds
that?
of Shadow.
Tempest Kitty. Yeah, she's one of my favorites. Tempest.
Hi, Tempest. How are you?
Oh, very good. Hello. Hi. How you doing?
Tempest. Nah.
It's a fuzzy.
Yeah.
It's a fuzzy. I like the fuzzies. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, I gotta be obnoxious for a second. Have you seen the Drama Llama Tempest?
I have not.
Drama Llama Ding Dong.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
All I have to say about Tempest is that his profile picture is a furry. He's immediately my friend.
Oh. Tempest, she's the bomb in her own way.
Thank you. No, but I love the new llama. The new llama is gorgeous.
Oh yeah. One of the subscribers actually bought this one for me. I was complaining about wanting a Drama Llama. They said, "I'll buy you one." I'm like, sure. Here's my address.
Oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's cool.
That was great.
I like it. I like it. There are people here that I don't. Oh, stop. I'll get distracted too much if you do that.
I know. You have the attention span of a gnat, but we love you anyway. You're always living in the now.
Who do I know here? I know Shadow. I know Jello. I know Rob. Who else? I don't know Taylor. I don't know I almost said gonads. And 5 diplomas. Hello, new people. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I've just been here sort of contributing to the conversation and listening.
Well,
Cool.
This is my first time meeting Taylor, but she does seem charming.
Very nice. Very nice. How are we all tonight? I'm sorry. I don't know if I interrupted conversation, so please continue.
Oh, you did, but that's okay. You are the Tempest Kitty. We expect the Tempest to do Tempest things.
Yeah, I will actually mute myself for the moment because I need to quickly get a drink and stuff. So please continue, but I will be here.
So one point I wanted to make sure, because I still haven't progressed everything completely on the model, that may or may not form the basis of the next discussion. So we've got this concept of cognitive dissonance, right? It's got some definite behavior things to observe. But when we observe them, here's the real gift. When we observe them, we know without a shadow of a doubt that that there is a false notional idea held in mind in relation to reality. And that's extremely powerful. Because what happens is you now have a tool to demonstrate to someone that holds a belief, like a God in the sky, and it works. You can say, look, I can do this time and time and time and time again. And when these behaviors exist, and they only occur when there's a false idea, we can really safely assume, well, not assume, we know, that, that idea that you hold in memory is actually false and it needs correction. When you correct all the false ideas held in memory, you've achieved enlightenment. Is that it? Oh. And in the enlightened state, you don't have the interference from the survival stink, so the data comes on board pure and it stays true. So it is the truth that sets you free. You live in the moment, you live with truth, and yada yada. Oh, and you live the life of the good wolf.
And you don't have to know anything to be enlightened.
No, you do. You have to address the lies that you live with. So, you people with egos, there's an issue there that needs to be sorted out.
Yeah,
and that's
when you find out that the way that reality works and what we've learned from science conflicts with your worldview, you should certainly change your worldview, don't you think?
Yeah.
Or at least look into what everyone's talking about and look into the facts that we present.
Yeah, but now that we've got my concept, you know, the whole concept out on the table. Now you can attack it and prove.
Yes, now you can throw out science and reality.
No, hang on. No, you can take your knowledge, because you have an alternate viewpoint, right? You think
Well,
this is wrong.
I know a thing or two about neuroscience. When you have a stroke, you tend to want to learn things about how the mind works.
Yeah. Oh, well, you could just die.
No. I have basically it's like a straw that's been chewed on in the center of my brain.
Okay, so what's that mean? What's that mean to you?
It's plaque
says
buildup from
smoking.
cholesterol. No,
Sorry?
it's not the damn smoking. It's the diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and way too much steak at a young age. But anyway.
So are you able?
It's plaque built up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. I've probably got that problem coming because of bad diet. So are you able to improve that health condition, or do you just sort of cruise along and then drop dead?
Well, I kind of have the choice between a shunt and just taking measures to mitigate the damages as well as possible to try and prevent further damage. Kind of the choices. That's why I smoke ultralights, and these things are made of air.
Yeah.
There's like no nicotine in them. It's annoying, but
Can I just say, why do you bother, Shadow? Like, it is smoking air. I know.
Right.
Being a smoker for so long and then quitting and then the occasional now and then.
Stop smoking. Come on, team. Let's rally around.
Well,
Stop
keep in mind, I did do the whole shaman path for 20, about 20, realistically about 28 years, and you know, smoking is a tried and true Native American tradition. Okay, fine, I'm full of shit.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I have something to say, and it's maybe a bit weird, but it's almost 5 in the morning where I am, and I have a chicken. So if you hear crowing, that's my chicken.
Okay.
He lives in our house. I'm just warning you.
Okay.
I wish to hear that.
That's
That would be
cool.
awesome.
Oh, Tempest would love you for it, absolutely.
I've been in Hangouts before, and like people are like, "What's that noise?" And I'm just kind of like,
That's fine.
"Hey."
Tempest would be crowing as well.
No, I'll mew at it really loud.
Yeah, you really are an anime character. We know the truth.
Shh! Don't give away all my secrets on the first introduction.
First date.
No, I think we technically had the first date, the day that I brought Tempest into a hangout to talk about what it's like internally to feel like you're a different gender than you are on the outside, and really blew everyone's minds. And Tempest as well, I think. I don't think she was prepped for it. I believe the comment was no foreplay or something like that.
Yeah, it was actually out of left field, but I was happy.
Wait,
It's
is
always nice
Tempest
to be... Yeah. It's always
is
nice to be
Tempest
able to enlighten people.
is Tempest transgender? Or
That I am.
okay, I am too.
Yay! We can be twins.
I just don't. I mean, I usually don't really say anything about it because like these people I don't know, but
Yeah, there was a little bit of indecision initially.
yeah, I mean, like with who else was in here? I forgot her name. Hold on. When Rose was in here, she was like he or she or.
I just took a wild guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just glad that you're not one of these people that does it. I actually am lucky that my son is also in the category of not making a big deal out of it. My female-born son.
Exactly. I mean, like, I usually identify as male, but if you get my pronouns wrong, I'm not really going to say anything. It's just like, okay, whatever.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, in the case with me and my daughter, my son now, it's, you know, after 15 years, it's like, I have to retrain my brain.
At least you're a parent that's accepting, because mine, they don't even know about me, and...
Oh, no, her mother is atrocious with it. Absolutely horrendous. And I tried to explain to them once, I said, we don't know if this is some kind of phase, it might change, who knows, but if you sit there and just keep fighting them on it, they're going to dig their heels in, and whether it ends up being that that's what they want for the rest of their life or not, you're kind of pushing them towards that decision by, you know, digging in your heels and being a jerk about it. Just let them live their own life and figure it out.
Please teach my parents this. Please.
Bring them into the hangout.
Oh, I
please.
wish.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. But Taylor, like you know how it is, yeah. Especially when it comes to hangouts and stuff like that, you know, people just tend to say he, she, all willy nilly, sort of all over the place, and you just sort of grin and bear it, yeah.
Yeah,
You get
I mean,
along
like,
with it, yeah. You just like I don't know. I got over it very quickly when it comes to the online community. I think because
Yeah.
it's hard, you know, for them to really judge or see. So what can you do?
I mean, I have close friends that'll call me by my right pronouns, but if people want to call me she online, that's perfectly fine. I don't care. Go right ahead.
It's good. As long as you can deal with that, and it doesn't affect you too much, it's great. You get on in life, you're doing fine. You'll
find folks on here that are good representatives and ones that are bad, and I think that Tempest is one of the best I've come across, quite honestly. Take the compliment as it is.
Stop.
Okay, the absolute best is Zinnia Jones, but who can compete?
Tempest, are you British? Just like by your voice?
Oh no, don't call me a Brit. I come from the land down under. I'm Australian. Everyone's yeah.
I was just asking, because usually when I meet a British person, I can do a pretty good British accent.
I can do a pretty good blah 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 blah. No, my mouth is not tonight. My mouth is not working. Oh wow.
I'm usually the one with that problem.
Yep. Normally, yes, I can do a pretty good British accent, but it's not happening. I don't know.
Anytime, anywhere, I can do mine.
Would you like a cup of tea, love? Got two, Bob. Perhaps like a cup of tea and a sticky bun.
I didn't realize how much that. Because I remember I just jumped into a hangout one time. And this guy sounded like Chef Ramsay, just straight on, and I started kind of copying him to annoy him. And as soon as I did a British accent, he gave me that. He's like, "I know you just didn't."
Oh yes, you just did.
Chef Ramsay's, huh? Yeah.
Was there a lot of cussing involved? There was, sorry, there was a little bit after that, but frankly, that was basically the end of the conversation. The segment beyond that isn't necessarily really worth the bother right now. For those of you that joined us, thanks for joining, and I'm not planning on dealing with this shithead again. I think this is, in some levels, the best case of cognitive bias that I have seen in my entire freaking life. But at least I got him to let me actually fucking speak, which is more than he normally does, because he normally just sits there and will keep cutting people off. But on that note, for those of you that joined, once again, that watch us live, thanks for watching. Those that join us later, thanks again. Take care. Oh, wait, am I supposed to mention Patreon this time of the month? Nah, fuck it. Take care.